Hello and welcome to Inkwell Society on Maze Arcana, where I get to sit around with my friends and play some D&D in the noir. If you've been paying attention, you've seen a bunch of nobodies with zero class learning how to become not quite such pitiful wretches. I feel like we haven't even started to dive into the incredibly lengthy backstories, although we are spending a lot of time in an area that thrives on the knowledge that is within the walls. We'll see if they can leave such a place soon. Before then, let's go to announcements for Nora. How's it going?
Well, Satine and Rudy will be at Jasper's Game Day, April 21st. Visit zeechgames.com for tickets. All proceeds will be going to benefit suicide prevention. It's for a great cause. If you can't attend but still want to donate, please visit tinyurl.com/jaspersgames. Oh, and don't forget, we have Sirens of the Realms on Tuesday with our DM Satine. That's at 6 p.m. on twitch.tv/DND.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything that they want to mention?
Dungeon Queens is Tuesday.
Dungeon Queens is Tuesday. That's Tuesday on, what time?
Oh, at 9, right after the show.
There's a lot of colors that day.
Yes.
Twitch.tv/Dungeon Queens with a Z.
Two very different old girl role-playing experiences.
Yes.
I would say that.
Right.
Does anybody else have anything interesting that they were doing today that they can talk about?
Well, I can't talk about half the things that we're doing.
It's true. We're vague booking.
Can you announce anything yet, Satine, about
No.
things? Okay.
Yeah.
I can
Something
announce
cool's
I took,
happening.
I took pictures as a teen.
It's true. That is an achievement. Yes. I shot a commercial.
Cynthia, Ryan, and I have our podcast that we release every other week on Wednesdays called Life Action Roleplay. If people are interested in role playing and LARP and things like that.
Did a new episode go up today?
No, that happened last week.
Give time to catch up, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Plenty of time to catch up.
And if you want to catch up on Inkwell Society, you can listen to our podcast on iTunes. It is there to listen to in your car if you are trying to catch up before our show.
It's true.
We've got the first 3 episodes up.
First 3 are up.
The International Tabletop Day trailer did go up on Geek and Sundry, and I am a cartoon action star now in the style of the early 80s, so that's an achievement unlocked.
Were you the villain, or was that just Erica and...
It depends on how you want to look at it, honestly. Yeah, right. That's,
It's all perspective,
It is,
you
it's
know.
true. Certain point of view.
And Satine, you did such a wonderful job of introducing our raffle yesterday.
Oh,
Your rifle.
okay. Oh, I didn't write a new song for... Okay. So, for all y'all who saw what we had on Sirens yesterday, today, if you hit !raffle, you could win 2, not 1, but 2, boom, Icons of the Realms, Tomb of Annihilation, blind boxes from WizKids. That's right, they're super cool. You can get a Quaddle, you got Minsk Gamboo, a Human Ranger, a Aldani, a Oroth, a Raptor, a Rosnisi, and, oh my gosh,
Maybe they
a
can't
Duodrone.
Yeah.
You have a Duodrone in here? That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah. No,
That's cool.
I want
This
that one.
one's heavy.
No, we can't.
It is heavy. I noticed how heavy that
Raffle
one was.
No, I
This
want
Don't
that-
tell
I want that-
anybody
no,
it's heavy.
Curses.
Curses.
Yes, they can have it. Fine.
We're gonna we should just guess what's in here. Like,
I don't think
Enjoyness.
this one I think is a Quaddle.
I don't think
Anyways,
I don't think they're making
Quaddle's
those
not that
anymore.
heavy.
I'm pretty sure that's
True.
a limited run.
Yeah, those are.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
we
there
have
you go.
a few more that we can give out over a while, but those are pretty much.
We've
the
been
things.
holding on to these for like 6 months or so. So
What? Gamers being hoarding collectors?
I just wanted to touch them a lot first, okay?
True, that increases
So,
the value, I feel.
!Raffle. Boom, boom.
That was. I liked. Yeah, that was good.
Very theme appropriate.
I thought so.
I wasn't done. You guys interrupted me before I finished my song.
Oh,
Please
No,
go
that's
ahead.
all I'm gonna do. So you guys hit !raffle
I call
into
BS.
the thing. I was going to. You actually interrupted me.
Go.
I lost momentum.
We all believe in you.
Hit !Raffle in the chat room, and after the break, we will raffle off. When's the break? You're gonna have to watch to figure that out. That's right, watch.
But in the meantime,
I'll just hold it like this for the whole game.
Here it is. Stroke it lovingly.
That's going to interfere with your dice roll.
Oh,
It's true.
balls. Here. Thank you.
Kai, did you want to say anything about thanks, or have you?
Oh, yes. So, you guys might want to check out our Twitter, where we have a really fun video of me opening up. I got some new dice. They're from Devnar.
What?
Wow.
So cool.
Very, very, very kind of him. And
Aw.
I super appreciate it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank the
They're
maker.
cool.
What
Super
kind of
cool.
dice are they?
They're gold, and they're metal.
Wow.
And they,
Sweet.
they feel great. And one of them, the D20 has already rolled a 20 just as I opened the box.
I only got
And
two.
then?
I only got two 19s out of it.
We
So I think
witnessed
it
it. Yeah. So thank you, Devnol, for sending the weighted dice. We
Yes, thank you,
appreciate that.
Chris.
Yeah. And no matter what, they can't roll any worse.
Yeah, they
Worse
can.
than you have been.
It's true. I've only got going up to go, really.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like
Don't drop it off the table.
at least you've seen some gold now, because it's gonna be a long time before you see any more.
Oh.
But not you guys, because I have an Idle Champions gold chest, which is now in the chat. You see how I work that in?
Yeah.
How long does that
Dungeon
chest
Master.
good for?
Should be good for 24 hours.
Bravo.
Should be. But I could be wrong.
Unless it's not.
What's today's date?
Today's the 18th.
18th.
Oh man, it's good until 8 o'clock.
Better use it.
Use it
Looks
now.
like you got 45
Yeah.
minutes.
Open a second window. Yes.
Yeah.
Or play it on your phone.
I think there might be more coming through later though.
I know. I think that's the one that I put in for yesterday, but then
I think
did
so.
it wrong.
Yeah.
I did it wrong.
Well, if you don't, you have to kind of do it earlier than not. So we'll see what happens.
Why don't we have 2 for next week?
We can. I actually talked to Clive about that. So, Idle Champions, thank you for giving us stuff to hand out. Thank you to WizKids for supplying some awesome raffle stuff. Axe and Shield for the awesome things that you can't see yet because I don't want you to. And they're holding up other awesome things from Dwarven Forge, which I'm sure you've seen before. And how's everybody feeling?
We're ready.
Prepared.
Do you feel like you kind of started to get in a groove last
Yeah.
week?
We are about to find out, yes.
We are about to find out, indeed. Final thank yous, because I remembered Satine doing this yesterday, was thank you, Blackmagic, for these awesome cameras that bring us to these people in awesome high quality and all of the other things that we have going on. And we have, hopefully, some other things coming to create a more unified gaming space for us. That's about as vague as I can be.
It's true.
There's a lot of
It's just so much vague booking. Like, I go back through my Twitter, and it's just tease after tease after tease. But it pays off eventually. Eventually, it's like, hey, that thing I talked about like a month ago, here it is, yay!
Yeah, if you're patient.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and roll the intro? All right, welcome back. That intro always just makes me like so giddy.
It's because you got beat up in the intro.
I don't think that's why it makes me giddy. No, it is. So it's because I was every NPC. All right. Last week, our loathsome hero is kind of never-doers. Is that like a way that you say that thing?
Ne'er-do-wells?
Yeah, but you like that's
Ne'er-do-bads?
yeah. You get
So-
near-do average.
Ne'er-do's?
Ne'er-do-wells.
There it is.
Yes, ne'er-do-wells.
There we go.
Spent a good amount of their time trying to come up with better strategies on how to infiltrate the library in a way so not to be seen, returning the book which they've been commissioned to return for the lofty sum of 7 silvers. You can laugh all you want to. This is Eberron. It's expensive, okay? There was I wouldn't say like somebody took charge per se, but I would say that there was kind of a meeting of minds where there was a lot of you guys agreed about ways to approach things. And with the quest from Garlon to get the book back into the library before his boo finds out who is the head librarian of this district's library. You guys have made a pretty good amount of progress, and I believe that you are up to the part where you actually make the plan for getting the thing done. So, I guess without further ado, we'll let you get into it. Let's play some D&D in the Noir. Go.
Okay. I have a question. What are we right now?
Where are you right now? So you had made your way back to. I'll set the scene. After doing your recon, you made your way back towards the Wicket Lawn Apartments in the Gate of Gold. You found the apartment rather welcoming today, as you had recently paid your rent. And it even looked as maybe some of that money had been put to good use, laundering the disgusting floors, and a new coat of paint is on the lobby walls. As you go up the staircase towards your floors, but you guys were mostly headed back to your place from what I recall. So as you make your way up, you can see that at a certain point, maybe somewhere around the second floor, that new coat of paint has abruptly stopped, reminding you of I think dirty eggshell is not necessarily what it would be, more of like baby formula carrot for the residual walls moving their way up. As you make your way into your apartment, the abode of Rose and Hamatio and their new roommate, Zaylin, you notice that out the window, there is almost a beautiful sunset of neon elemental rings fettering airships back and forth across the skyline from what you can see. And there is a distinct glow of alchemical glass fading almost to neon light in across your floor. Now you may begin.
Okay, we don't have much time. What are we going to do?
Well, does everyone remember what their library cards say at least?
You don't remember?
You remember?
Yeah.
Which one? Tiny Fuzz Knuckles or the actual one I gave you?
Which one I don't do?
So,
Mine
Fuzz
says,
Knuckles.
mine says Lancia.
Flywheel.
Could you
Perfect.
remind me, please? My notebook has been misplaced in my other coat.
Gendar Lithbane is Hamatio. Larcian, I've got a second one for you just in case called Lindel Swarm Song. You can choose to use it or not.
I think they recognize me.
Probably. Rose, yours is Daisy Tesser.
Yes, but see, here's the thing. They also know me as Rose.
One of them does.
Yes.
Okay. I just don't want to lie to her because she was so nice.
You
Avoid
probably
her.
won't have to actually show her.
Or how both of them.
The guards, yes.
Yeah.
Don't put them in different pockets, though, just in case.
Yes.
That's very smart.
And if any of you need to talk to me there, my name is Matthias Denkar there.
Um,
And we should remember that Grizz is known as Simon Snarltooth. Just in case.
I'm Daisy.
although
Did you send me those? I thought you were sending me those.
Sorry.
It's okay.
and,
What were the first names again?
Gendar, which is Hamatio.
Okay.
Lindel, which is Losian.
Can you just go in this direction for me?
Oh, sure. Daisy. Matthias. Simon. Flywheel. And then Lindel. Although I don't know if Losian is using Lindels.
And
All right.
He's not using
the
that
tiny
one.
fuzz knuckles.
Whatever. All right.
And we have an extra, which is Tiny Fuzz Knuckles.
This. Very important.
Spare.
A burner identity, yes. Although, if I could make a suggestion for our strategy, perhaps it would make more sense if Rose and Felix, if you all accompany Grizz to the food court and attempt to approach the library through the vents. I feel, based on what you all reported, that the three of us are too large to take this approach.
I'll be too heavy to go in events.
I hate this place.
I hate it too, my darling, but
Fine.
but we must, yes.
Okay. I'll wear my dirtiest rags.
Yes, but because then if you are inside the room with the books and if you're in trouble, you can do the messaging in the mind and you can tell me that you need help. Losian, Zalen, and I will be prepared inside the archives to assist you from the outside.
So I'm gonna help you guys out. Do we have a rope?
I've got a rope. I'll give you guys the rope.
That would be very helpful.
Very smart thinking, yes. Is it possible, you told me this bird man, the Larry man, could you put him through the vents and then he goes into the archive and he makes the mess and everything with that? Could you do this with it?
Well, could, but I don't know if we want that.
No.
Larry,
No.
he can
No.
go anywhere he wants.
Oh.
Well, he's kind of a wild card with all the,
Okay.
Grizz, do you feel like he's actually trustworthy in any manner? Or reliable, shall I say?
Trustworthy, yeah, but not reliable.
Is he sober?
Far from it.
We should probably avoid that then.
Yeah, sounds like a
It's
liability.
very complicated.
Yes.
I just don't want anyone to get hurt.
No, it makes sense. I do not want to put you at risk. I just thought it would be funny if the Birdman he goes in the car and stuff.
So the other three of you will be running interference if necessary.
yeah, from
Damage control.
Support, yes.
Great.
The cube thing, is there a way for you to distract it? I would hate for it to like nibble at your ankles or at the rope while you're in the room. You said he has the jelly cube. What did you call this thing?
I don't know. Yeah,
It was a
cube.
blob
Jiggly
and-
cube, I think.
Bring a bag of garbage.
The gelatinous.
Honestly,
Gelatinous.
You got
Gelatinous.
any scraps in your trash?
I mean,
Yeah.
this whole place is trash. It should not be hard, yeah?
Jellies are different.
No, I meant like in your house.
we are in your apartment.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
So one half of the apartment is a little trashy.
yes,
It's like a corner.
yes. It's true, yes. We should have the scraps like the peels from the oranges and maybe the old like bone from a meat thing.
Or I'll take it.
Yes, you don't eat the thing. It's for the jelly cube.
He's
You-
a shifter. He doesn't do that.
Yeah,
You can't
what-
assume
what
he's gonna
makes
chew
you-
on the buns.
Oh, so I'm just gonna eat the the garbage. That's what
Yes,
you think.
no, he doesn't mean.
I don't know that you won't chew the bone.
He's
yes,
confused.
yes, sure. Okay,
Just give
it's
the
true.
garbage.
Well, time is short. That is true. Is everyone clear on what our roles are here?
Okay, what do we do when we get inside?
When we get inside, we're gonna find the stack of returned books. We're gonna try and put it near the middle, near the bottom, but we're gonna avoid touching the bigger books because those are the ones that might be alarmed. If any of them start going off and accidentally get opened, it's gonna be hard for us to close them. There are levers hidden on them that will allow us to close it.
Okay, you just tell me what to do. I help.
I think it'll go
Are
fine.
you guys gonna like block the door just in case
We'll
from
lock
the
it.
inside?
Well,
Yes.
there's no reason.
Probably locked. We'll have a little bit of time while someone fumbles at the lock.
But if there were a way to like stop the door, is this a thing that is possible?
Yeah, just a lever would do it.
Okay.
If we have something like that, we need to kind of go and do it roundabout now, so we don't really have time to make anything on the fly.
You like a
Do we?
stick?
I mean, did
Or
you
get a
have
stick in
an,
the thing in the food court.
did you have an idea for this? What you were intending?
I can't make it. But
What-
it was just like a doorstop. You just
Doorstop
jam
with
the wedge underneath it with a little hole with a cord on it so you can pull it away whenever you're climbing out.
We'll pretend we're lost.
Behind a locked door?
Well, yeah.
It is true. We are lacking in time. If you feel like this would be a difficult thing to fashion, perhaps we do not have time. I think it's a good idea. I don't know if we have the time, though.
Rudy.
Yep.
Is that something that would take a little bit of time to put together, do you think?
I can't read that.
It says no delay.
Oh,
A
okay.
wedge with a
There's nothing I
hole.
can do about it now.
Yeah. A wedge with a, you say the hole? What did you say, the thing you described?
With a
Yeah,
cord.
you just put a hole in the back.
You want to know what it would take you to create that?
It would take more than a few minutes, wouldn't it?
Probably
Time-wise.
about 5.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, no, I'll say that with your powers combined,
Oh, we
that-
could use a book.
But you need to put the books next to it so when they open
But
it,
go on.
they think
Let's
it's
not
the book
destroy a
stopped
book.
it.
But yes, you were saying?
if
Shouldn't be
you're
a
trying to
cord.
make a door stopper with a cord,
Yes.
how long is the cord?
Long enough, roughly, to reach from the point
15
of
feet.
entry on the vent
Well, not
to
50
the door.
feet, not
15 feet.
Oh, 15.
About 15 feet.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Not a problem?
I understand
Great.
because they put the
I'll
stop
say
on the
that
door.
one of you owns a door stop.
Great.
You can add that. One of you can add door stop to
I'll
your.
take
I
It would be really funny if it was Mr. Punchy.
Just
Yeah.
don't lose it.
Yeah.
This is my favorite door stop.
Can I see
Make
it?
sure it comes back.
There's actually a hole already in this. Did you bite this?
Oh, no.
Never mind.
That came out of that.
Well, that's fine.
If he chews the door
Perfect.
jam, he would chew the bone. I'm not crazy.
not
Yes.
like-
It's
There he
okay.
is again with the chewing of it.
So you said, Zaylin, you said you had rope we can use?
I have rope that you can use in order to
Perfect.
get down through the vents and have some sort of secure way to get back up should you need to.
Great. That
This
would
is-
be
that
very
rope.
useful. You can probably carry that.
I've never done anything like this before, so this is kind of out of my wheelhouse.
It's always a little nervous your first time, but I'll help you through.
I believe in you. You are very smart.
Oh, thank you.
You didn't climb in the trees or anything?
Oh no, why would I do that?
Right. Is that everything?
I think this
believe
is
so.
everything.
Okay.
Do we have any way to synchronize time at all? Like, so we would have an idea of roughly when you should be in the room. Is there any way we can do this?
Do we have the bells that ring?
It's
We can
only
do
like
it by.
the hour and a half hour.
It's not like any of us own a pocket watch. Those are incredibly expensive, I would imagine. It's mine.
Perhaps we will just have to count out the seconds. I deeply suspect you would be good at
Why don't you
counting the
just
time.
send one of them brain messages?
I do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone's
Brilliant.
within range.
Brilliant, yes, definitely. Okay, at least we would know. See, yes.
Boom. Done. Roll.
All right. So in order for
We are
the
prepared.
brain messages to work, in order for the message spell to work, you have to be within, I believe, 120 feet.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Which isn't great.
So in order for that to work, you guys have to be within about 120 feet, and it can only move through a small amount of steel like an inch, or a foot of stone. What's up?
It does say that it can move around.
It can, but that shortens your distance because then it's not moving in a straight line.
But
Yeah.
our
Close by.
understanding, and please correct us if we were wrong. We talked about this. This room, we thought this was 100 feet or less across. Was that not the scale?
It looks. I wouldn't say it's 100 feet. What do you mean the hallway?
Yes.
Yeah, the hallway's definitely less than that.
Yes.
So if we were on the far edge of the archive, nearest to the break room, it would be about 35, 40 feet to go through the door.
I will do my best to stay close.
And the door probably isn't more than 3 feet thick of wood.
No, the door is probably like.
Okay, we'll just see who you're trying to send it to at any
Yeah.
given time to see what's going on.
Okay. So I
We
sent
just have
to
to
you.
make sure
Yes.
that once we're split into two groups, that we're not splitting off farther than that and stay close to each other.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's going to be in the other place, then we're going to be in the 3 groups essentially.
Shouldn't be a
Although I
problem.
believe the 3 of us should enter the library separately, even if we will all be in the archives. At least we will look like we are
And then
not together.
reconvene downstairs.
And then if we have to steal the keys, you say you will do the illusions. Yes, you'll do the.
Yes.
Yes.
What happens if they don't let more than one person in the archive at a time?
Have they ever done that
Is
before?
that the thing that
I
happens?
usually go alone, so I don't know, but
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
That makes
We'll
no
deal
sense.
with it at the time, my friend. if
So
that
when are
happens.
you guys planning to go?
Now?
Okay, what time is now going to be?
Daytime.
It was my understanding that we convene roughly at noon.
Okay.
So how long has taken place in our talking?
We'll say that's fine.
Yes.
Right?
We'll say that you guys could knock this out before. I was narrating it to be a little on the darker side, but at the same time, you guys are in the center of the city of towers, where not a lot of sunlight gets through. So
It's a very good.
we'll say it's noon, as best as anybody can tell.
Yes.
We'll call that 12 bells, 1 bell, somewhere in that bubble.
Our
Right.
rationale was we would do it in the day because then they have to work in the night, and then is the day for and it's too late. That's why we want to go now.
It's fine by me.
when's the guard changing?
In the night.
Are you okay?
Listen,
What?
Are you stressed out?
What?
You seem nervous.
No, breathe, my friend, breathe.
What?
Just stay close
What-
to me.
When's the guard change?
It was like noonish. It is like nowish because they change again at the 9 o'clock, I think. So the Ian Cogsworth, the man I met, he should be there, but I actually don't want to talk to him.
Okay, so Ian
Yeah.
relayed to you that the guard shifts are in guard shifts of 2, and there's 2 guards there overnight. There are 6 guards there during the day in overlapping shifts so that they can eat and have breaks and whatnot.
And they patrol.
And the break room is right outside the entrance to the sorting room.
It is.
Yeah? Great.
Okay, let us go.
It's fine. It's
Just-
more plausible if we're around why we're actually here.
Yes.
It's safer for us, even if it does mean a slightly more chance of us getting caught.
Yes. But remember, my darling, we will do nothing in the archives unless you let us know somehow.
Okay, I'll just ping you.
Yes.
Okay.
Try not to like bang on the door because everyone will hear
I
it
will
instead.
not.
Okay. Yes, okay, yes. Then we are prepared to go. Good luck, my friends. Guess we can talk while we walk, of course.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I think we decided we're not talking.
Oh,
while
we're
walking.
not talking while we're walking. Got it.
Remember, we
Probably
should.
smart not to discuss plans in public.
Yeah.
But if you guys have made your plan and your decision, I'm ready to. I'm happy.
Let's go.
And they've already agreed that the second squad will not be arriving at the library all at the same time. They'll kind of funnel in, try and remove suspicion.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is that the first squad, raise your hand. Okay. First squad will be approaching the objective in roughly, we'll say 1 o'clock for travel time and whatnot. And infiltrating the food court across the spire. And then taking the air shaft across the way to enter the room. The plan to get out is a rope, a 50-foot rope, not however many 100 feet you would need to get it across through all the other air ducts and whatnot. Like, you're not holding onto the rope.
What are we tying the
How
rope?
long
I was
is
tying it off.
Yeah.
And then
Where are you going to tie it off to? It's a 50-foot rope.
Is it a 50-foot rope?
60-foot rope.
Even if it's a 60 feet rope, that's
The vent to enter it was in the service corridor, which is underneath the corridor that splits the two buildings, right? The service corridor.
the vent is in the service corridor, yes,
Okay.
but it's
And-
about 15-ish feet up at least from the floor there,
Oh, was it?
because
you could
Grizz
reach-
had to lift the
Kobold.
the kobold up into, or the bird did, one or the other did.
Because I thought he could reach up and open the vent with his hand, so it can't be that.
Because it was a part
high.
where
That one didn't. I don't even know if that one had a vent on it.
But then the distance from the edge of that corridor to into the sorting room was what, 20, 30 feet?
Well, the only person that has been in the air vents so far is the kobold, of which you were taking a drawing that just looks like an air grate.
Right.
You got no measurements from him. You don't actually know how far. You don't know where the thing is.
No, but we have blueprints, so we know
Yes.
the sizes. And
Blueprints, the air ducts were not on.
Yeah. So the air duct could open at the far end of the room as
Right.
opposed to right at the beginning.
So what I'm saying is that Grizz may not be able to handle the rope for you
Yeah.
or tie it off for you. It may have to be one or the other of you.
Fair
Inside the vent.
I have another possible alternative as well.
I mean, if you want to change the plan while I'm regurgitating it to you, you can. But that's probably going to extend the time. I just want to see if I've got the whole thing, unless we're scrapping the plan now and
I
doing
should
it.
say
Up.
what we have.
I feel like
Or I could just let you go about it and you could see what happens.
when we get to the food court, I think it's pretty likely we might be able to find kind of a piece of reasonable wood or maybe metal that we can use as kind of a brace inside the
like
inside one of the cross sections of
I-
the vent.
Yeah, or
and
even the
that tied
entrance.
onto something could potentially jam it.
like this. So here's the entrance.
Mhm.
We get a long piece of wood. We can just do that lower
Through the hole.
and have that, so we can climb up and
It
down.
might not
Yeah.
necessarily work for the entrance, but there might be. It looks like there are a few L bends and things like that that we could
Okay.
try and jam it. So
Sure.
Cool.
I think in the future I'm not gonna make these complications known. I'm just gonna let you guys roll with it.
fair enough.
But
I was.
figured it's your first time, so.
Thank you. With Felix, I'd like to show up in kind of somewhat simple, not very descriptive clothing, like simple, regular stuff.
Yeah, you're all
Too
fairly
garish.
common.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind having some light tools with me, just kind of some things that I might be able to use to maybe like a screwdriver and some pliers or something.
Sure.
Great.
Say that anything that is in your either disguise kit or forgery kit, you could probably grab, and then I will say that you have access to what would be in a standard toolbox
Great.
pretty simply.
Thank you.
I'll suggest you take a candle.
Might be an option too. Actually, we have a hood and lantern that we might be able to borrow.
I would like to not carry anything
Okay.
except for my real ID and my Daisy ID.
Sure. And we'll assume that everybody is in simple nondescript garments for the sake of argument. The only person that really stands out is probably going to be the half-faced Warforged. So then Squad 2 will arrive 15, 20 minutes later
Yeah.
and loiter.
We'll enter 5 minutes apart, more or less.
Yeah.
I think perhaps you should go first. I think you're most likely to encounter difficulties.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Okay. So you guys enter a little staggered. That's not a big deal. You make your way. You're gonna make your way into the library and congregate at the stairs, or all go down into the archives, or
Individually down the stairs to the archives.
sure. Okay. So that's where you're posting up, is in the archives.
Yes.
I'll assume that you're gonna stagger so that you don't all
Walk down one group.
bump into each other immediately,
In-
unless you tell me that you're moving like that. So, with that, is there anything else that you guys need to do plan-wise? Okay.
Succeed.
So then you set out for the library. You catch little glimpses of sunray coming down through and between the buildings as you make your way towards the library, arriving roughly as the one singular bell of the beginning of the afternoon chimes out. Who has the book? Okay. Shortly thereafter, the group 2 shows up near the tunnel to the library. Group 1 has made their way into the food court through the fire escapes and the windows and made their way down toward the opening for the service tunnel. However, the chamber that you use to get up and down does not seem to be up at the moment. A couple of cords hang from the ceiling, specifically.
I'll reach in and grab one of the cords, and then
So if you're going to do that, you'd have to walk onto the top of the, we'll call it an elevator for lack of confusion,
okay.
and grab onto the part of the elevator that would be what makes it rise. This is not a hole in a wall.
Oh,
This is a hole in a room.
okay. So the elevator's here, and we'd be walking on top of it, like into the shaft.
Yes.
And okay. So, and then where did that go when we went in first? Like it comes up and you walk through it. Is that?
It comes up, you walk into it, it goes down, you walk out of it
Ah,
in the same direction.
okay. So we have to get it up.
I don't know what we're waiting for.
We gotta go down, and this thing's gotta come up.
Do I smell Larry around?
The odors that you were accustomed to from Larry seem to waft up from the small creases at your feet.
Larry.
There's no response.
Oh boy.
Knock on it. Nothing.
It just echoes below. None of you have observant or anything like that. It's just what you two. You have observant, or do you have? Oh no, your reading thing comes from something else. You have observant.
It's moi.
Yeah. All right.
But I am not there.
Sure. So I believe I'm aware. So the three of you can make me a perception check as you look about to see if there's some way to trigger this thing.
Well, obviously it's 18.
I have a 6.
I got a 10.
Okay. So the two of you continue to kind of like stare at the open, empty space, the walls around it. You continue to try and sniff out Larry. You get a little fed up with this, kind of start looking around, and you notice that there's actually an air vent that just goes up. And you think that you could probably grasp a hold of it by standing on some of the dilapidated tables that are remaining there. This air vent, if you were to look at this, would be roughly right here.
Okay. I don't know what you guys are doing looking around, but we just go up through there. There's some tables. We could get on the tables. You can lift us up. I don't care.
That seems fine. Do you want to try that, or shall I be the first to try and climb that?
You should.
All right. Grizz, can you try and stable this table for me?
I guess.
Does it look like it can hold my weight, the table?
The table looks like it could probably hold. It looks relatively sturdy.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it does not look like you could actually get a grasp on the vent by yourself from the table. You would need a boost, or you would need to stack other things.
Grizz, you're so strong. Could you make a little boosted bit?
So I would have to stand on the table.
Mhm.
I don't know if that table's gonna hold both of us.
Does it look like there are any more stable kind of pieces of furniture around that we could potentially move around or anything like that?
You look around and you can see that there are a couple of chairs that may or may not have legs of varying lengths.
I just grab one that looks like
Close.
the best one I could find. I just
Sure.
put it on the thing. I put it on the table.
It, even still with this, it looks like you would have to step on maybe the tall back of the chair in order to grab onto the vent.
Would I think that if I just got on the back of Grizz's shoulders, that would help?
Probably. He's taller than the chair by a good bit.
Okay. Grizz, are you strong? Can you hold, say, my weight? What if I climb you, and then I just kind of jump up and grab the thing? Would that be okay? I know it's a little demeaning and crazy, but, you know, we got to get a thing done.
Yeah, all right. What can I say?
I got to go first. I go.
You want to go first so you can help us climb up? Actually, it
Well,
might-
just you.
Well, that's fair. We can
Yeah.
probably go find Larry and get him to move the whatever the hell that room thing is.
They could figure it out later.
Sure.
Okay, so somebody's getting boosted up. Who's going in?
I'll go in.
Okay, so you go up, and you're actually heading the way that the vent was sloping down. You were actually heading up in the opposite direction of the library. You can see that the shaft moves down towards where you would guess the end of the
I don't know
curve
what
goes.
that means.
I think we're going this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
we
And as
enter
you
there and
turn
go across, so.
In this,
I'm
as you
not-
turn at the right angle, you're not
I'm
gonna
not
go.
going. I'm waiting for him. I'm not going in there. by
Oh,
myself.
okay. Well, you're the one that can see right now.
I know. Come on up.
You want to help me?
All right. You toss him up there,
Okay, now you go.
climbing your way. Well, okay, fine. You go first. You make your way around the corner. As you do, make me a dexterity save.
Great.
Because it is very dark inside here.
I thought we had a lantern.
Hooded lantern.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I
have-
wasn't aware that it came
yeah,
out.
We have a hooded.
I didn't know somebody had already pulled
I
it out.
thought this
using
whole
it.
entire place was dark, and
It
that's
is.
why we've been
Okay.
lantering it the whole time.
I was unaware that it was out and being used at the moment.
Is that okay, or I
Yeah,
can
no,
make
no,
the roll
that's
if you
fine.
prefer?
I would
No.
roleplay me being upset about it being dark. Like I would be like, "It's so dark in here.
It's
I
not
don't
dark
want
to you.
It's true.
Oh shoot!
That's why you going first was important.
It's also dirt.
And he had just gotten pulled up, or he had just climbed up there, so I didn't know. Like that's why I didn't assume there was a ladder out, or a lantern out, because he would have had two hands to pull himself up. Anyway.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we were gonna explain every little, but I feel like we would have a lantern, just because that's part of like us moving through this.
Sure.
Okay. Do I make the roll?
No.
All right.
No. We'll make Satine do it later. So, as you come around the corner, you raise your lantern and you see a big open gap
Great.
that, crossing to the other side, there is another vent that moves along.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. As you move up to that vent and you look down, you can see that it drops very, very, very far. And that somewhere down at the end, there is probably roughly like the size of a quarter. You can make out the glow of this molten, maybe river, maybe lake. It just kind of looks like a pinprick needle to you down there.
But something looks kind of molten and burning down there.
You can smell that what is coming up through this vent very much feels like it would be this downslope here is essentially going to lead directly to the cogs, and possibly has doubled as a trash chute at some point.
I go back. I scurry back. Chris, I don't like it. It's bad up here. There's like bad things. Like, hold me down.
But you can see that it is only a 10-foot gap.
All right.
And if you look up, you can see that probably about 20, 30 feet up is the next vent. And as you look down, you can see the little bits of glow from your lantern illuminating another little square that also looks like it has three shafts actually, moving
So
out.
this is a very straight up vertical shaft going like
Up and down.
way, way, way up into the higher depths where everyone has a lot more money. a lot less free time to do silly things like this.
And below you there is roughly, you would guesstimate that this portion, the stuff that would have to do with the first level of the bazaar, the library, the food court, and the lower level are all in rapid succession. But that lower level that you were trying to make your way down to is the one directly below you, roughly about, we'll say 30 feet. I'll just go ahead and call all the intervals between are about 30 feet. So you could drop down and try and make a grab for that. You could hold the rope here, etc., etc. But you definitely did not grab a 10-foot, piece of wood or whatnot.
See, that's exactly what I was gonna go back to do. I was gonna.
Okay, you can try and find one.
Grace, we need. There's like this thing, and then we need a plank.
Look
Also, we
around
forgot the piece of wood.
The only piece of wood that you see that matches her description is on the table that you were climbing up. The long plank of the table.
Okay.
They're roughly 2x4s, but this one's a 10x2.
Okay. Can I find some weak points? Would it be able to just give it a good old kick?
You would need to pry it off on each side. Is that something you want to do? Like, do you want this wood?
Sure.
Okay. So give me a strength check. 10. 10 is enough for you to move over, pry one side off. You can tell that the nails are rusted. As you move around to the other side, this side even just pops right off, and you're able to put a...
Are the nails sticking out of it?
They're mostly rusted to the point where they are broken. As soon as you started to pull them out, there may be one. Since you looked, I will just say that there are not.
Would it be okay for me to kind of get back around to the entrance with Rose? The entrance point?
Yeah.
Grizz, we've got the rope. How about I lower the rope down? You can tie it to the board, and we can pull it up together.
If you stand on the table, you can just slide it.
Oh, if that's all right, we can do that. Then.
That was totally sorry.
Felix, this is very scary.
So if I stand on the table, I can pass it up. But I just pulled the board on the table.
There's more. There's like 5.
Just stacked on top of the table. Huh?
Okay.
It's like a park bench.
Okay. All right. Then sure.
Gotcha.
I'll just stand up and try to pass it up to you.
So it's a bizarre food court. Okay.
All right.
All right. So you hand up the board. You guys are able to pull it through to the center. You do have a little trouble getting it around the right angle, but you are able to manage bowing it just slightly because of the age of the wood. You get it across and into the open area right before you are at the precipice. What would you like to do?
Should we be going across to here, or do you think?
I don't know. You're the boss. I don't know what to.
I'm asking your opinion. On the plans for this. So.
Are we supposed to go over here?
No, I think we're kind of. We're meant to go down around here, which is where the.
Game Master.
Your plan would have included that this is the one that you need to get into.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
This one is away,
Yeah.
and it is reasonable to assume that this diagram would mirror the opposite side,
All right.
but this is likely the one to take you over.
So we can just put the board across and then go straight across on this level.
You could.
That side I think is a good.
However, you don't know if this level, you do know that this level would be parallel to the library itself.
Oh, we gotta go down.
I'm
Well,
gonna
we just.
call up to you guys.
If you guys are coming back that way, you gotta reach into a hole in the wall and pull on the thing to get the elevator to move up and down.
What?
All right.
But make sure you take your hand out right away.
Okay, so
Noted.
So we throw down the
We're not
plank.
going to throw, we're going to gently kind of slide it across and make sure we don't lose it and set it properly so it has enough on both sides for us to, for it to help us get across the trash chute.
Okay, so are you intending to move across the wood, or are you intending to tie a rope to it so that you can get to the lower level? What is the intention?
Okay, this is my idea. So we use the plank to get to the other side, and then we hang down and we swing and drop on the next level. After we put the plank down on that level.
We can do the plank on this side. We can do the same thing on this side. And it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're going to tie the rope to the plank and then...
Okay.
Yes.
Because she is there and helping, you can make me a sleight of hand check at advantage.
Okay.
And meanwhile, squad number 2, you are approaching the library. You are all going to enter and make your way around.
Where's your bonus?
Oh, look at the dice.
5.
You're going to make your way around, and you are in the library. You can see the stairs heading down toward the archives level below you. What would you like to do?
When I come in, I'm gonna walk towards the stairs.
Okay. You do see a guard whom you recognize as Ian, standing at the foot of the stairs. He is alone, as opposed to the other day when you guys were here.
Walk up with my card. I'd like to go to the archive. Thank you.
Oh,
Go down there.
yeah.
I wait a few minutes after he's gone in and I do the same thing.
Okay.
I'd like to go to the archive.
You good?
Cool, thanks.
I do the same.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
I don't think so because I'm new to this place and I just want to go to the archive.
You're new, but you have a library card.
Yes, this is my second time at the library and I was here last time and I got it. Now I want to go to the archives, please.
You got your library card that quickly? That's impressive. All right. Who gave you your library card?
My good friend Robert made sure I was able to get into the library.
That's where I know you from.
He's a very dear friend of mine, and that's why I want to go down so I can read about some fashion from the past that maybe I can take him something that he would really enjoy.
But why are you talking like that? You talked to me the other day, right?
I don't think you and I have ever talked about anything, sir.
So you just... Wait, okay. Is this... Describe this Robert character to me.
Perhaps if you would have come to me downstairs in the archives, I could describe him in greater
This
detail.
is my post. I need to stay here. Why don't you tell me who this Robert character looks like, since you don't know who gave you your library card?
So this is in fact the same Ian Cogstongue, right?
Yeah, that's why I said
Right.
you.
Yeah.
recognize
I just step in really close to him and I say, when friends have agreements, they shouldn't talk about it in front of other people that aren't their friends.
He looks around and he goes, yeah.
Is it just the two of us?
Mm-hmm.
I look around and I say, I'm here to take care of something private. I promise I am not here to cause any trouble or harm the library in any way. But it is important that I do not leave a trail.
Okay, roll me a persuasion check.
9.
You're not going to cause any trouble? You going to make it worth my while?
I believe I have already made it with your while.
No,
my
you
friend.
paid for information.
Yes.
You going to pay me to look the other way?
My friend, listen. The only way these type of relationships work, if everyone has mutual respect and discretion.
The only way these things work is if everyone's getting something out of it.
Oh, I promise you will get something out of it, my friend.
That also vaguely sounds like a veiled threat.
What do you mean also, my friend? We've spoken once. This was not in our interactions at all.
Okay. Tell you what. Since you rolled a 9, I'll let you get away with just 9 copper. I mean, 1 copper.
Or right here in front of all the people? Or
No.
would you resolve it later?
You make your way down the stairs and drop the coin. If I don't hear the drop of the coin, maybe you won't make it all the way down the stairs.
Pleasure. Yes. So, yeah. And I go. And I drop
Okay.
the coin.
All right.
Yeah.
He hears it tink, 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 tink.
Mm-hmm.
After you make your way down the stairs and you meet up with the rest of them, or at least get into eye contact with everybody, who I'm gonna go ahead and just assume that you've moved over to different tables and have started pulling out different archived books and scrolls and are pretending to read. As you make your way down, you can hear the heavy thud of his boot go bump, 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 bump. The scrape of the coin coming up off of the stone, and then bump, 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 as he moves his way back up the stairs.
Tending to read.
No, I cannot resist the archives. I'm really reading something. Just
You
near
don't have
the
to
door.
convince me about it.
Yes, but near the door.
So, as you're down there, is your intention to be reading a book, or is your intention to be watching out? Because I was under the assumption you were trying to keep an eye out.
I'm on the lookout.
I'm getting as close to the wall closest to the break room,
Okay?
and I'll be.
May I has your mini?
Oh, this one.
So the break room is right here. Nobody will be able to see your mini at the moment.
Right, this is the archive on this end.
The archives are over here.
Over there.
This is a storage room.
Right.
This is the break room. There are mirrors, or not mirrors, but windows here and here. And beyond that is the library spaces over here. And Tawny's office is off
I
the
was
map.
gonna stay this end of the hallway.
All the way down here?
Yeah.
Because I just moved you over here because that was where
Right.
the...
No, I wanted to stay down at this end.
Okay, so
And-
you're lingering near the bookcases that are...
With a book and just keeping an eye down there.
Okay.
And what's the distance to the window?
To the window?
Yeah, 30 feet, 40 feet.
It's right at 30 feet.
Okay.
It spans that little 10-foot wall, basically. And then you have the door, and then you have another 10-foot section that is right before the door, and before the door to the sorting room.
Mhm.
And the wall is below that, so if you were to go prone and crawl across, you could do it unseen.
And is there any window on the storeroom that I'm standing next to, or is it just
Nope, storeroom is absolutely
door?
walled off.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm lingering.
What are you doing?
I'm close enough to where if he needed to.
You're still in the archives.
Still in the
Great.
archives.
Where are you?
I'm also. Is anyone else in the archives besides the three of us?
Yeah, there's a couple of people milling around, but it looks like people that are taking long lunches or something like that, being studious, whatever.
I also remain in the archives, but I kind of like look down the hallway and knowing what I know of her, make sure I'm what I at least believe is within range of her message.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we come back to your sleight of hand check.
24.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You are able to tie a very nice tight rope, tight knot around the board. I'm assuming in the center of it.
Yes.
Okay. And you are sliding the board either across or at an angle.
Probably, let's say at an angle, because I'm worried about something maybe falling and dislodging. So, yeah. Ideally, if there is something that falls, it's not going to hit and break my rope.
Good. You saved me an intelligence check.
Cool.
The three of you make me a stealth intelligence based check. So not dexterity, but intelligence.
Us three.
Yeah, you three. Squad B. Team 2.
I don't know what you mean by stealth intelligence.
So if you are proficient in stealth, you get to add your proficiency, but you are not adding your dexterity bonus, you are adding your intelligence bonus
Gotcha.
instead.
16.
16.
22.
17.
Great. All right. Back inside the vents, you slide the plank across the wedge of the box, so it sits essentially like this.
Yep.
And the rope unfurrows down towards the lower portion.
Right. Would it be okay for me to put a knot or two in roughly about where I think I might need to go down? So
Sure. You can do, we'll say
That
you
might
did
help
that.
me a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, you got a 24.
Great.
As far as I'm concerned, they look like ponies. So you have this.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Rose, I'm gonna. Is it okay for me to kind of attach the lantern onto my
Yeah,
belt or something?
why not?
Great. So I'm gonna take the lantern down.
Okay.
After I'm down and I've given a thumbs up, I'd like you to. I'm gonna check out what's going on, and I figure if everything goes okay and we can get that room to move down below, we're gonna want to get our rope back so we can use it in the actual proper vents further down below. So be prepared to untie it and bring it back with you when you get out of here. All right?
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you tell me again?
Basically, we want to keep the rope, so we're not going to leave the rope there.
So you're going to untie it from the plank?
No, kind of.
After, go ahead.
Do you want me to grab, like, kind of unhook it so that the plank falls and I have the plank and the rope? That's what I heard.
I don't know if I mean that might be more useful potentially. Yeah. You can take that with you.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So a 10-foot plank, you're gonna undo the thing and have it come down towards you guys,
more
falling.
no. After I've gone down,
Uh-huh.
she's going to drag the plank back with
Mhm.
it still tied onto the rope,
Mm-hmm.
and then bring it back to the entrance that Grizz popped her up. With the idea that I'm gonna go and find the elevator and bring the elevator up, and then all
I
three
see.
of us are gonna meet and go down.
All right.
Yeah. That
Okay.
way we can keep the rope.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
So we'll say that you guys are quite able to do that. You make your way around. You find the hole,
All right.
the little vent area, and directly below you, feasting on some excrement,
Great.
is an orange. We'll say this one at the present looks like a mushroom
Uh-huh.
as it gobbles and digests.
Great. It isn't digesting Larry, is it?
No.
Great.
Would you like to poke your head out of the vent?
As long as I don't think I'm gonna get a gelatinous cube in the face.
You're too high for the.
Okay. Yeah. So
This is like a 5-foot square cube as
Right.
opposed to a big cube.
all right.
Cubes don't climb.
Yeah. Fair.
So you peek your head down and you can see Larry is really, you just see the taloned feet of Larry flopped up over some sort of maybe box or tent or something. I suppose you have not met Larry,
No.
so you actually just see taloned feet popped up. Your best guess from your education is that this is an Aarakocra who is clearly drunk off of his tail feathers.
Like,
And you can
unconscious?
hear, maybe,
Maybe.
you can hear a shrill whistling during the respiration.
Great. He's snoring. Fantastic. With kind of a mid-tempo voice, I'm gonna try and get his attention. Like, Larry, wake up. Cooey.
Nothing.
Nothing. There isn't anything nearby that I can throw at him potentially.
You do have a lantern on your belt.
I'm not throwing the lantern.
I don't know what else you have. You have tools. You could throw pliers at him.
Not throwing money. Not throwing money, especially not with Felix.
Cards.
No. All right, I think I'm gonna try and figure out a way of. Do I think I can potentially kind of crawl out of the vent and try and swing myself so I don't land on this cube?
Would you like to try?
Yes, I would like to try.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Great.
All right. Now give me a dexterity saving throw.
Cool.
I know with a 2, it's not high enough. You don't even need to look at it. So give me a dex saving throw.
Dex saving throw would be 9, 10, 11.
Okay. So as you try to move back and forth, kind of like rocking yourself to where you can get a good distance between you and the cube below, some of the dust causes your fingers to slip and detach. You start to fall backwards, but you tighten your core, twisting yourself in air, and you land directly adjacent to the cube, which gurgles.
Back away rather quickly from it.
Okay? It seems to be occupied with its lunch,
Great.
and it does not notice you, so it does not take any form of attack.
Great. I'm going to dust myself off. I'm really glad no one else saw that. And start walking to where they describe the elevator might be.
Okay, so you walk down towards the end of the hall.
Give
You
a disdainful glare at Larry as I go.
Okay. Looking disdainfully at Larry, you cross over. Roll me a percentile.
Great.
So that's
Percentile?
the 2d10s, or
Okay.
do you, if you only have 1d10?
No, I have them.
Okay.
I have them. I have plenty of really nice dice.
Those are very nice dice.
Yeah.
I almost brought my gunmetal ones today.
72.
72.
Yeah.
You catch yourself before stepping in a pile of excrement. On your way towards the elevator, you make your way over to the open space, and you look in. You do see a little hole with what looks like maybe wooden rope wobbling back and forth, but you know that this is live wood, which is typically used as the, we'll call them the guts of most Warforged.
Wow. Is it normal for live wood to kind of operate an elevator kind of system like this as well? Or?
You've seen it.
Yeah. All right.
You don't, it wouldn't necessarily be something other people would have as much knowledge about.
Do I think this is rather an unusual?
Roll me a history check.
There we go. 17.
Okay, so you do believe this is rather unusual for especially the digs that are here, and that it was put in sometime later, not necessarily as part of the original structure. And as you scan around, you can see where there is actually a plate that was replaced in the center of the ceiling tile that would probably have operated with a pulley system before.
Oh.
This is an advancement that is quite expensive.
Really?
And as you look, if you were to look up kind of, you would not be able to see, especially not with your poor human vision, all the way up until it attached to anything.
Great. All right. I understand how to operate it, or am I going to?
You have a pretty good guess, and he yelled it up to you, so I'm going to say you know that you just need to grab onto it and release your hand to pull it out really quick.
Yep.
As you do, it makes a subtle groan and then shoots up, and you are standing with the opening now opposite of the way you walked in. The opening before you to the entirety of the decrepit food court.
Great. Do I see them anywhere?
You see Grizz. I think
Somebody
did you make your
held
way
me
down?
down.
Yeah, you see them struggling. He's got the 10x2, and he's kind of trying to pull it down at the same time. Rose is being impatient, so he's trying to like do both at the same time. Eventually, she just kind of like wills herself into the thing, and he drops it in order to make me an athletics check.
So that is a natural 20.
So you are able to, you notice her just kind of like wobble out and attempt a graceful landing, but you are able to just catch her in the appropriate fireman or the appropriate wedding carry and lower her down to the ground just fine.
I get kind of embarrassed, so I just drop her.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So you catch her
Yeah.
out of reflex and then drop her. And she flops against the remaining 4 boards of the picnic table.
And I just start walking away.
Thanks for nothing. I hate this place.
All right, you guys see and hear that Felix has made his way up, and you are available, or the elevator is now available to you.
Ta-da!
Okay, let's go. Let's get this over with.
Larry's drunk and unconscious. Or
Yeah, I
dead.
figured that.
Probably
I'm gonna
unconscious.
detach the rope, roll it back up, and all right. Well, that's
Great. Let's go.
Are you not bringing the wood?
Oh, we are bringing the wood.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. I guess I'll take that too.
Okay, so we'll just say that you snagged it and went.
Yeah.
All right, so you do the same thing again. It pops back down to the bottom, and you are now face to face with the gelatinous cube.
Great.
Oh, good. Where's the garbage?
Garbage time.
I'll pull out like I don't know, some slimy garbage and kind of like throw it off to the side, close enough to where it like picks up the same.
Pig. When it starts to undulate towards the garbage.
Okay, go. Come on, Phoenix. Let's go.
You guys make your way down the shaft. Everybody can make me a percentile roll as you make your way through, except Rose. Well, actually, you can see too. So you were the only one that still has to make this percentile roll.
Can I use the lantern to illuminate the...
Fine. You make your way, dodging little drops as you go, and you can repeat the same process to get up into the vent. So who's going into the vent?
Well, I want to say as we passed the cube, I give him like not all the garbage, but I put another pile like sort of next to it, like it'll hold him for a while.
Okay, but like a little farther away, so
Yeah.
he has to kind of move towards it.
Just leave a
Sure.
little tray. Yeah.
That's cool. You Hansel and Gretel the little gelatinous cube.
Yep.
And however, this place does not seem to have a table to stand on.
Am I able to just boost them up?
You can with the appropriate strength check.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna try it. Who wants to go first?
Which one of you is... I'm going to say the elf is probably slighter in build. So which one is going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I've already been up there.
That would be a 24.
You almost slam her into the top of the vent. as you-
Good, Grace. You gotta be careful.
She does not even have to like try and grab on to the side. She just flops up and like lunges forward by like almost by entirely your own muscle, and she flops down. You guys hear her pong as she hits the air duct and skips a little bit like a rock across a thin pond. Your turn.
Great. Gentle.
19.
Much the same, only he's able to skim just enough, especially because he's a little bit heavier as well. So he just kind of lands on there a moment forward, looks forward to see Rose. I hate this place.
This place is so dirty.
And you continue on your way. Anything?
Pass up the board and the rope.
Pass up the board and the rope. Okay.
All right, well,
I won't do any checks for that.
Okay.
I can think of things.
Be down here then. I guess.
Keep an eye on the cube and Larry. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, as you three mill around, what do you do to change your post so that you do not seem too conspicuous?
Before I leave where I am, I want to do a perception check to see where there's a good spot near there that we can keep an eye on the door, so that I can tell them where to go stand.
What do you mean?
Basically, I want to use my perception skill to find out what's the best spot to keep an eye on the guards, and then walk over and tell him, go stand over there.
So you can see that the best spot to keep an eye on the guards would be right here. However, it's a single hallway. So if you're looking in through the window, they can obviously look out. And while they're in there doing whatever they're doing, you would just be standing in the wall, like next to the wall, about 20 or 30 feet down,
Right.
reading a book, I guess, leaning against a wall in a random hallway.
It's not that good of a spot.
You can also see that you have a clear line of the door from all the way back to where the stairs are, some 100 or so feet the other way.
Okay.
No check needed.
Then I'll just walk back in the archive and walk past him and go, your turn to keep an eye out.
So based on what we've seen of this place, the only thing that's like high security is the door that we know is locked at the other end of the hallway, right?
Yeah, as best you, as much as you're aware.
I just start walking down the hallway.
Okay.
I'm looking, but I just walk down towards the door. I don't open the door, but I walk towards the door, just like trying to see how many people are in the offices, how many guards. What is
Many.
this?
Now, where's
Just kind of noticing like, 3 bodies in there, 2 bodies in there.
I'm sorry, I did not realize this was a girl.
I thought it was a commentary on my, but that's all right. I'm man enough to play
So
with
you're
a
gonna
woman
walk your
mini.
way down?
Yeah.
Are you attempting to remain out of sight, or are you just...
I'm actually trying to look lost.
Okay.
So I do sort of like, these ones as I'm sort of like
So give me a
walking.
perception, or sorry, not perception, give me a deception check.
15.
All right, so you effectively do a thing that kind of looks like you're trying to inspect the hallway for mold or something as you wander down it, and your passive perception allows you to pick up that there are guards there playing cards, just 2. Down past that, it seems as though the offices for the other librarians are all empty, but you do see through the next set of windows a small gnome doing something at a desk. But she does not, none of them have appeared to notice you as you are deceiving, or you are deceptively good at looking lost.
I double back, continuing to look lost, but just back to the archives.
Sure.
Yep.
What are you doing?
I've taken a few books and I'm positioning myself somewhere between where the other people are so I can keep an eye on them to make sure that we don't look conspicuous and to make sure that I'm still in his line of sight in case anything happens.
Okay.
I do sort of. Are you at a table alone, or do you sit at a table with someone else?
I sit at a table alone.
I sit at that same table and like open a scroll and like run my finger down it and basically recount what I saw. Like there's 2,
Okay.
2 men playing cards, the gnomes in the far office, that like, and then sort of like kind of turn it over like it wasn't what I was looking for and walk away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your deception check was enough that nobody's really paying attention to you.
Do
You
what you
looked
do.
lost. You grabbed a scroll. You continue to look bewildered, and then you get up and walk back to where you found the scroll.
I don't even speak common. What is this? Yes. Sure.
He says in common. So you guys are doing well, keeping out of sight, and you 2 are making your way. Where I want minis. You 2 are making your way.
Mine's the busty one.
Oh, really?
Would have figured.
You 2 are making your way down the shaft. As you make your way over, Grizz still, you have the board and the rope. You're able to find the vent
Yeah.
right chair.
It's a down drop.
It drops directly down. You will need to remove the vent.
Yep.
It may clatter to the floor below you, but what you do see is another table with a stack, multiple stacks of different books. Some of them of ostentatious size, some of them like pamphlets, some scrolls, whatever. It all looks very precariously stacked and almost high enough that you think you could probably grab one of the books off of one of the stacks if you kind of like hooked your feet on the edge of the vent and lowered yourself a little bit.
So you put the plank like that, and then hang the rope down and climb down the rope and swing over.
First, we have to worry about the vent. So the vent, it looks like it's attached it's bracketed on the underside, not the top side. Then.
Right, but the vents are the slits are large enough that you could get your hand through them with a tool.
All right. So I think I could either I could probably kind of reach through and then try and undo it from there.
Probably.
What are my odds of potentially with the cord on with the cord or the rope? I could tie the rope around one of the slots of the vent, so when I've undone it, it doesn't immediately fall. It's hanging by.
Very
the
good.
rope.
All right. For your foresight, no roll is required.
Cool.
You were able to loosen it enough and then let it dangle just enough to where you can twist it in and then pull the vent up into the shaft with you.
Great.
You set the board across and have the rope dangle.
Mhm.
Okay, you are able to do that. It looks like you can make your way actually down, kind of like there's stacks adjacent to everything, but you can probably angle the rope and the board enough to slide down, and with a little luck, not knock over any of the stacks.
Rose, you're better at perceiving things than I am.
Yes.
Do you want to have a look before we drop a rope down to make sure there's no one down there, it's safe, or maybe what looks like good potential places for us to stash that book?
Okay, that's a good idea.
Let me know if you see anything.
All right. I peek my head out and under, kind of like, bloop.
Mm-hmm. You do an upside down periscope, check out the area. There seems to just be a middle-sized dwarf with frizzy hair taking a nap back in the archive, back in this tomes.
In here?
Mm-hmm.
In this room?
Mm-hmm.
The Wampa's in here. She's sleeping.
Whoops.
Um,
Well, we're gonna have to be extra quiet then, aren't we?
yeah.
Where exactly is she? Could we have a minion?
Let's see if I have one. Let's just use this.
A dwarf with pigtails? Do you have that?
I don't.
I have a question.
Kyle has the box.
Felix, I have a question.
I got it.
What
I don't
if
need it.
I can send a message to Hermatio and let him know that Wampa is in here?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can get her out of here.
Maybe. Try it. See if he's in range of that spell of yours.
Hermatio! Hi! Wampa's in here. I don't know what to do. Maybe you could get her out.
What is she doing? Is she doing her job? She like you too.
She's sleeping.
Well, if she's sleeping, do not awaken her.
Get her out of here.
If I come and knock on the door, I mean, then everyone in the place will know that we are in here.
I don't know what to do.
Is there room for you to hide if she were to awaken?
There's a lot of books.
I ask Felix if he thinks he could hide in the books if she were to wake up.
Felix, can we hide in the books?
Yes. It should be okay. If he doesn't have any bright ideas, then
I
that's
just
fine.
feel like, she's my friend now, and I don't want to make her upset or get her in trouble.
So you're asking for Hermatio's opinion, and he's not being helpful.
Yeah.
Why do you keep asking him questions then?
Well, he's my. We live in the same place.
Yes, I've got many questions about that, but now's not the time, I suppose.
It's not a thing. But
It isn't?
anyways, no, it's not a thing.
Good to know.
So, yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't want to wake her up. When she wakes up, I don't have anything to. I don't know.
Well,
You hear the chime of 2 bells
All right.
ringing through the air ducts.
I guess we just sneak.
When I hear it,
Should be alright.
so how long does our message remain active?
When
Oh,
she says something to you, you can answer, and that's it.
Okay, we're gonna go in.
Did the bells wake the sleeping dwarf?
I don't know. I look. No.
Yes. Good luck.
Okay.
I would have make a distraction if you were caught. So only message me when you are caught or you are done.
I don't say anything.
Seeing as though I have like them in my eyesight, do I notice anything in his expression to to where like I feel.
I do look up, like, make eye contact. I'm like,
Okay, then you assume that something is going on back and forth.
but then I sit down, so it's like, you know.
Okay, and then he appears calm. All right, back to you two.
Great. So I guess we're gonna try and sneak
Yeah.
down.
Okay, so you unfurl the rope. You let it drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, who's going down?
You good at sneaking?
And who's got the book?
How much of no?
I have the book.
Oh, you got. I mean, as good as you probably. I guess I go first in case she wakes up and then I say I'm lost or something.
It might be more plausible if there's two of us than one. If I go down first, I can maybe help you get down.
Oh, that's a
flat.
good. Yes. I mean,
So I'm gonna try and go down first.
Okay. Make me an athletics check to climb the rope appropriately.
Great. No.
Athletics.
Could I do?
The first one? No, you can do what I told you. to.
Okay.
And remember that you originally wanted to do the negative into strength.
Huh? Yeah, that's true. I wish I could do it with style and I could do acrobatics.
Depends on how bad it is.
4.
All right, so as your grip starts to slip, you are able to have another opportunity here with Rose watching as you start to plummet.
Mm-hmm.
Make me your acrobatics check.
17.
Okay, so as you start to drop, you're able to coil your arm around the rope. Luckily, no strength required, it just hurts. And you swing through 2 of the stacks towards the wall. Now, make me a sleight of hand check to release the rope.
Okay.
If you had gotten a good athletics check, you wouldn't have had to do any of it.
Oh my god. Alright. Sleight of hand check.
Yep.
See how this goes.
That's good.
So that's an 11.
Okay. So you are able to kind of undo the rope from around your arm. Fast enough that you don't slam into the wall, but not fast enough to land on your feet. And you fall down on the ground.
Nailed it.
He says from his back, looking up at Rose, upside down.
So seeing that happen, as the rope starts swinging back, I'm pulling it. So as it's coming back, it's not going to hit any of the books.
Sure. We'll say that it wasn't going to anyway, because it was just going to swing right back.
On the same path of travel.
I'm just scared.
No, it's good.
When you said through, I realize now you meant more between, but when you said through, I thought you meant.
Yes, I understand. So you went
Like-
between.
Okay.
I look down.
I would have said collide for future
didn't-
reference.
I didn't wrecking ball that.
No. But now you are there. The rope. You can have pulled it up. You can have it
I
still
pull it up
dangling.
and then I drop it down.
Okay.
So.
And then you're gonna head down.
Mhm.
Athletics check.
Am I able to? Oh, never mind.
I got a dirty 1.
A dirty one.
I have a negative 1.
You don't actually have to enter the room. That wasn't the play.
So, Felix,
That was not.
you go nailed it, and you see her go, and then start to lean out, and you just see like the leg, like her legs and feet. And like she's like kind of like doing the little stomach waddle thing that children do when they're trying to get into a pool. And she's like inching back, and you can see her feet come dangerously close to kicking over different stacks of books. But then as she finally starts to drift over it, you can see that there is no core strength holding her there right now, and she just slides. The garments that she has getting caught up by the little bit of gust of wind from the falling, and just.
I would like to say something. Can I say something?
Yeah, what's up? On the way down?
Yeah, I messaged him. I go, escreed.
Which is, yes, your code word for sodding. Yes.
Is there any way I can try and break her fall?
There is not enough time for you to get up and make your way over, and something's going to break her fall.
That's fine.
Oh man.
Yeah.
As she plummets,
Should have waited for me to get up.
I've never done this.
I will allow you. This is going to be a saving throw,
Okay.
not a acrobatics check because you have no way to hold onto the rope. So, as you fall, make me a dexterity saving throw to see how bad this is.
I rolled a natural 20.
Roll for story.
There's a void, a weird dice void over here where it's like super high or super.
We keep that over near Sig on this table.
All right, I got it. So, as you just almost go entirely rigid, just full out stiff, your arms and legs fall directly between the path of all the other book stacks until you hit your butt and take enough damage that when you hit the ground or you hit the table, you notice that there's a massive book that you collide with, and you notice that right before you go unconscious
Oh my god.
as you take 6 points of damage.
I'm dead.
You're not dead, you're unconscious. There's a big difference. However, if you were awake, he would be getting a lot of screaming messages about feeling like you were like in labor kind of pain. And you can see from your upside down vantage point her and cough up a little bit of blood.
Wow.
And it starts to just drizzle down like saliva as if she was like a vampire drooling on a pillow.
Great. Did that set off the alarm too, or she's on
It
top
did.
of the
She's
alarm?
on top of the alarm. Roll me a perception check.
Great. Yeah, because I'm real good at those. 10.
Okay. So after the thud, you hear a distinct click, and it appears that Rose's weight might be the only thing holding the book from flinging open. And with that, we're gonna go to break.
Oh my god.
So we will see you guys back here in a couple of minutes, and we will do the raffle after this. So if you guys have not had the opportunity to type !raffle yet, we are giving away 2 of these, not to 2 separate people, to 1 person. And we will ship it anywhere except like Australia, unless you want to pay for the shipping. Only because this is like $75 to send to Australia. I would rather just buy you one.
We have to film in my living room.
Yeah, like we're scraping the barrel here. We really appreciate the people that jumped in and subbed over the last few days. Dev, who delivered the dice, resubbed today. Dwarf Spike, Mr. Spikes, Blackbeard 884,
Oh my goodness.
McBain O's, which could also be McBain Ounces, maybe. JDH Chang, Yokai, our very own Onatrix, Mythic Visage, Cabe, who's been a good supporter constantly, and then APJ Underwater, which is about how you feel right now, and Mustache John. Those are all the ones that have popped in this week.
Wow, thank you guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that doesn't mention the large amount of bits that were coming in from different people.
You got bits?
There's some bits.
Oh my god.
I do not have the bit, the bit GIF up for this.
Is it the bait kid?
The one where you go. Yeah. I don't have that up for this. We'll talk about whether or not we want to add it or not. It's a little bit of a distraction. So, we will be right back from break in, we'll say, somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes before the hour. We will finish off before the hour, and then we will get rolling right back into the rest of the story. Thanks for coming and joining us on Inkwell. Welcome back to Maze Arcana and to Inkwell Society and to Oops, I Fell Out of an Air Vent and Got Knocked Unconscious. And I am the only thing keeping my keeping the alarm from going off is the slender build of an elf.
That's right.
Elf booty.
If you are just joining us, it might be because we just tweeted out about coming back from break and the giveaway that we're doing. Or it could just be that you got here late. And if so, the recap is they've done a little heist digging. They've gotten themselves into the library's air ducts, and they are very close to completing the gig with some complications, like falling out of an air duct.
She dunked it too.
She
got
did.
dunked out of an
It was a
air duct.
slam. And now she is the only thing keeping the screaming Book of Alarm from screaming its alarm. With that, let's do the giveaway for these awesome WizKids minis.
Exclamation mark raffle.
You said you had more.
I don't remember.
Aww.
She had it knocked out of her.
Yeah, it's true. She's having a tough night.
She's been through a lot.
You know, broken pelvic bone,
Broken butt.
butt. Who knows what else down there is fractured?
The elves have bones down. Extra bones.
I can fix it.
Oh no!
So
I'll
one of
take
our
what's left over.
followers, Snowchild,
Yay, Snowchild!
if you will send a message to, like a whisper to Maze Arcana, we will get your contact information. You can go ahead and provide that if you'd like, and we'll get rolling. See, we'll get that out there to you, unless, of course, you live in one of those places that we mentioned earlier, in which case we'll start to talk to you about how to get it out there. And then we have some really awesome giveaways over the next few weeks that, usually include Idle Champions stuff, but this time we'll include some more digital content for some other video games in our hemisphere. So we'll talk about that later. In the meantime, I really want to see how you guys are going to deal with this.
Oh.
And if you're actually going to get to the new R-type things that I have hanging out over here underneath my chair waiting for you.
That are noir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And with that,
So,
you hear kind of this gust of wind come drifting through the air duct, and you hear and we go back to
Can I go to try to find Larry? Or does it seem
You
like
can see
alarming?
Larry.
Like,
you can see Larry's talons.
I'm gonna try to wake him up. Larry. Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Well, I'll keep trying. But
When you go over there, you do see that uncoiled, one of his wings is kind of laid out with a very large bottle of brand. 3/4 of the way empty. And a very particular scent.
okay. So, I am getting up and going over to Rose pretty quickly to attempt to stabilize her. Does it look like the young dwarf girl has woken up?
What is your passive perception?
Probably really, really bad because I don't.
Yes,
have
you're right. It probably is.
14.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So, you make your way. Yeah, you got oodles. So as you make your way over, you kind of do a little quick glance off to the side and see that she's still there, and she appears to be unroused. As you make your way over and kind of lean in between the stacks to reach over and give me a medicine check.
Okay.
Are you proficient in medicine?
No.
Okay. This is gonna be bad.
Kind of bad at it. No,
Oh man.
zero.
Is that a 1?
It doesn't matter. I
Oh.
can't botch a
Yeah.
medicine check, can I?
Well,
So you are
I don't even
you reach for her calf and do not find a pulse. Rose, make me a death saving throw.
Can I just clarify for the record?
that is a 2.
A 2. 1 failure. You hear a groan and she coughs some blood.
Great.
You can make another medicine check.
Wow! The void is real.
3.
Oh, good night, my friend.
You pop out of one of the stacks, move over to the other side, and lean in to the next part and feel her stomach and find no pulse. Make me another death saving throw. I'm really hoping you don't kill yourself here.
It's been done before.
It has.
17.
There's 1 save.
Oh, God.
Would you like to make me another death saving throw? Or not a death saving. You can make me your medicine check.
14.
Let's just do that. We'll just always do that.
However, and I know this is going to make things much more complicated. Is that with your bonus?
My negative.
It's a medicine check.
It's a wisdom thing.
Yeah.
Medicine is intelligence.
No, it's your
No.
call, but by default, it's wisdom.
If it's intelligence, then it's +2,
I'm-
and I will happily take that.
That's why
He has a negative 1.
That's why he rolled a 1 with a -1 before. He doesn't
Yeah,
like that
but I
as
could have
zero.
sworn most of like nature, medicine, and
Wisdom.
Nature
Nature's
is intelligence.
With medicine is wisdom.
Wisdom.
If you want to make it intelligence.
That's not how he got
This
his
is the
0.
worst heist ever.
Or
the
best.
best.
That's just the
Can I
default
see your
stat.
sheet?
Absolutely.
It could be intelligence if he grabs the medicine book off the table and opens it up next to her.
That'll be the alarm to bug if that's what happens, right?
Well, the music's perfect.
indeed.
Oh my God, what am I going to do if you die? You're going to live.
I blame you.
You're going to live. You
Escribe!
Famous last word.
Medicine is a wisdom check.
Okay. Well, 14.
13.
So everybody can mark that down. That's the first time I've been wrong in a long time.
You're keeping track of many things.
It's fine. I don't care. So it was a 14 total?
Yeah.
Now, you are not proficient in medicine.
No.
I was setting the DC at 15 because you weren't proficient. Theoretically, you shouldn't be able to even stabilize if you're not proficient in medicine. By the way the way the book is written.
Okay, well, that's it. You know, a DC is a DC.
Mm-hmm.
It's only real when you say it, so.
And now he did.
And you did.
I'm trying to think here. Make me a death saving throw.
Your music is appropriate.
What? It's still your turn. I'll still give you an opportunity to do something else. That's just your action. So, if you want to look around and try and find things,
I can try and spot something, maybe.
if you tell me what you're looking for. You do hear
Some kerfuffle.
some snoring.
Great. I'm gonna scan around the room or something. Maybe there might be some bandages or even a first aid kit on the wall or something. I have no idea.
Give me an investigation check.
Sure. Can we try?
Too many kisses.
So I got a 5 there, so that would be 7. Doesn't look like anything terribly useful around as much.
I'm ready. If this is it, I accept and I blame everyone.
You only failed once.
Yeah, but she can
If I
botch
roll a
on
1, I die. That's a freaking 20! I rolled a gosh darn 20, Rudy!
Wake up
Does
with
that mean you
a
suck?
nice job.
Does it mean you start
So, I'm inclined to make a joke here about not being able to become conscious from certain things, like you couldn't hear anything or whatever. But what happens is, as he continues to fumble around, he does finally put his hand on your throat, wobbling about, almost crushing your windpipe, and the lack of air, just very quickly, while he scans around for a first aid kit or a thing like that, rouses your senses into a flight or fight, and you spit up blood a little bit. Some of it spatters across his face as you regain 1 hit point and your consciousness.
Do not move, do not move, do not move. Give us a moment. Don't even try to move. I don't know how bad.
Oh, you are. I'm gonna say that you are sitting straight up. You are still like technically prone for the purpose of things, but you are popped straight up. We're not gonna go into the whole C-spine. You have a back injury and all this stuff. And Felix wouldn't know anyway.
I'm fine. I'm okay.
You do not sound okay, are you sure?
I don't say anything back.
I'm going to move over to the. I'm gonna try and move over to the rope.
The rope is just literally like flopped down in her lap.
Oh, in her lap. All right.
She felt flat.
And does it appear that she's on the sorting table?
She is on one of the tables that is the stacks. So as you take your bearings of the room now, scanning around, you can see that towards the back wall, like where the closest to the hallway would be, there is a long, wide bin that the books drop into. You can see there are a couple of tables where there are stacks arranged in little placard that says Monday, Tuesday, which is different days. I didn't look at. I think it's Mole, Soul. I can look them up later.
All right.
But the different days of the week. And Kyle's gonna correct me shortly.
Nope, I'm just gonna message it to you so you have it.
The thing is I have it in the thing. I just don't want to look at it. So there's the little sorting for that, and then you can see there's another one that says like lost.
All right.
And then the further stacks back says like no card. The next one back to that, the little placard says undistinguishable, etc., as it goes back. And in each of these further successive tables, you notice that there is a large book that is red, much like the one that she is on top of. That is identical across all of those tables. And except for the sorting bins and the one that has the standard days of the weeks on it.
Right. How full is the? You said there was a lost table, and then the next one after that was indistinguishable. Was it? You can read the signs enough to tell which ones. She is sitting on the one that is the indistinguishable. Ah, so that's the table that we're gonna have to place our. All right. Don't move. I'm going to, since she's on the big red book, it seems safe that I can put this other book somewhere else on the table without triggering things. So I'm going to put our delivery book in the middle of one of the stacks on this table.
So you're gonna lift up a bunch of books on the stacks by yourself. Slide the other book underneath this stack of heavy books that you're lifting up.
No, because it sounds like there's a hell of a lot of...
Talking like 10, 12, 20 books. In
Noted. All right.
Remember, you could almost touch them.
They would. Wow.
They're called stacks.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess mountains would have been better.
Okay, here's the thing. We could just. This whole situation's a little crazy now. So, what we could do is. Okay, just trust me on this. It's gonna be a little weird, but,
Don't.
whatever. So, just check this out, okay?
You're sitting on the alarm.
I know.
need to make sure it doesn't go off before
Well,
you move.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of books on this table.
Sure.
And if we, okay, just hear me out here. If we knock them over, we can put the book underneath them and then make it look like we fell on this area. And then when Twampo wakes up, she just sees us laying on this book together.
Laying on this book together.
We could pretend that we're like making out or something, but that's all I got. But that would make sense for why all the books are on the floor and we're on the alarm book.
Okay, I'm gonna let you two discuss that for a little bit while squad number 2 reacts to the information that Hamatio has received.
I'm like very much like pacing, but like it's like the cool type thing, But I'm like, kind of like sit there, like open something and read it for a second, and then close it and stand back up again. I'm like,
You march over to where Lucian is. You kind of look him in the eyes, and you can't really bring yourself to say anything, so you just kind of tap him on the chest and then turn around and walk back off. And then you grab a book. You don't even look at what it is. You just grab one off one of the racks and walk over to the same table, and you kind of sit down. You don't look down. You just open the book, and you just kind of look at her for a little bit. And you try and compose your thoughts, and you go... And you just close the book, you get back up and you walk over and drop it off on a different shelf, but it doesn't even look like you even looked. You just kind of pace back and forth with that.
clearly preoccupied.
Clearly. How do you two react to that?
I see that, and
Like, he just left you at the table, staring back at him as he got up and walked off.
yeah, I don't like it. I feel like
Wait, I don't know how you feel. What do you do?
I pick up one of the books and I start pacing back and forth and doing this mouthing like I'm reading to myself. But as I pace over to him and I say, "Is everything okay?"
I do not think so. She says it is, but I do not believe her.
Are you walking back over to her?
No, she said she comes to me.
I walk over to him.
Oh, you walk over to
I'm
him.
pretending like I'm pacing back and forth reading to myself, but I'm actually mouthing the words to him.
Okay, so now the two of you are doing this like little tornado pace back and
Yeah.
forth, saying words as you cross paths and then
Yeah.
walking off. Okay.
I don't like how much time has gone by. I think something's wrong and we should do something about it.
Do what? I can only wait until she tells me yes or no.
Well, you can wait here and I can go look for that key.
And the two of you pace back and forth.
Yeah.
You can wait. I'll be back. Says the Warforged.
So I close the book. I walk out, and as I'm walking out, I look over to him, and I just kind of like nod to follow me out. But
And out where?
I'm gonna try to go into that room, sneak into that room for the key. And I'm waiting.
Into this room?
The key was in the empty room.
Nay.
No. Okay.
You don't know what's in the
Okay.
empty room.
So I then nod to him to follow me out so I could speak to him out in that hallway.
Okay, so you two move over to the hallway and...
Okay. I need to find a way to sneak into that room to find the key. Something's wrong.
Which room?
The room with the guards.
Oh,
But
that
I
one?
need something. So you said that you can do something to disguise or illusion or something so that we can.
Get get you past that room, but it won't get you in that room. Because if you're gonna go in, they're gonna see you. I can make it so they can't see out the window, but if going in's they're gonna see you. I
Do you
don't
think
like
we can
this.
cause some sort of? Do you think you can cause some sort of distraction out there while I sneak in there? If we can do something to where we cause some sort of noise and then they come out and then I can sneak in.
Pretty sure they're gonna see you if they come out.
What if
What are you gonna hide
What if
behind?
I hide on the other side of the door and they hear the noise coming from the other way, so they would walk without them seeing me?
You mean you want them to walk towards the sorting room?
No, they would walk towards the.
They're gonna see you then. Unless.
But if I crawl under the
Oh,
windows.
you mean to get past them?
If I crawl under the windows and get past that room, and then there's a noise that gets them out of that room, and then I can go sneak in.
That'd be there's nothing really to hide behind down there. Oh,
Dun, dun, more bells echo through.
if you can crawl down there, I could and stay down. I could probably put an illusion over you so you look like an empty hallway.
Okay. Let's do that.
Yeah.
The illusion occupies a space, not a person.
Right. 5
Okay.
foot by 5 foot space.
So if I'm in that space,
So if I make a 5 foot by 5 foot panel right in front of her and she's behind it.
So you're doing this against the.
Door.
I mean, it's a panel, so it's
Yeah, it's 5 foot by 5
right. It's not a cube though.
Right.
Okay. So the door is. So you're gonna put it here and against this.
No, like if this is the door and she's standing here, I would put it here so that anybody looking down that way would just see the blank door.
Okay. What about the window
The window is.
with the guard sitting next to it? There's two windows.
Oh, is it right there?
Yeah. There's windows right here and windows right here.
if I crawl.
Then on
under-
that window, I could just put in an illusion of the blank hallway wall across from it.
Yes, but you can only. It's a panel, so you can only do one side at a time.
Right, but I can cast it multiple times.
It only lasts for.
1 minute,
Okay, so you've got 1 minute.
10 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take one on the window and one in the hallway. That's 2 rounds.
Okay.
But before I do that, I want to go back to Hermatio and tell him to cause a big noise.
And if you want to say it needs to be like more than 5 feet high because she's hiding, it'll take 3 rounds.
I mean, the window is going to be like a 5x5 window,
Right, but I meant
something
like
like
the
that,
one in the hallway.
or a 5x10 window, because those are 2 squares for each one. So each window is
Two illusions
5
together.
high, 2 wide. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be 4 rounds. Then if you need it extra high in the hallway.
And it's 6 seconds between each casting, so that window is going to be a little funny for a second. Well, 6.
As long as nobody's walking past it.
No, but the guards.
We'll have to
I guess
risk
you. No, I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay. What I am going to require you to do, though,
Yeah.
is I'm going to require you to go over and look at the wall
Right?
very specifically to match it.
I did that when I was
Identically.
down here before.
Okay, well then give me a history check.
Okay. History says it's a 14.
14. I'll say that you have a pretty good recollection of what it is. How many of the,
Just the far window.
so not this window right here?
No, because
Okay.
she said she was going to crawl under that
So
one.
give me how many instances of 4. Roll me 4 Arcana check.
Okay.
In the meantime,
Yay. All right. So
Okay, after you.
I would like to see if I can gather up the rope and toss it back up the vent.
so between the stacks,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get up on the table, gather the rope, and then toss it back up. Standing basically astride Rose. Table,
Mm.
book, Rose, stacks.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's not
Probably
clear
not
to
as-
me.
The book stacks are in the way of us trying to do this. Basically, there's not that much real estate from the vent to the rope and so forth. It's a miracle we didn't knock it already over.
That's true.
We could say the bird person went up and follow the bird person in.
We could, but the next door area, I don't know if we want to lose that as a potential useful space. We could see.
Something like that.
Wow.
Okay.
You're surrounded.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
When you fell, it was like your arms just appropriately starfished from your natural
Thanks,
flying.
20.
All right.
So, quickly.
I'm going to see if there's a lever on the book under her butt, without lifting her butt up. But does it look like there's a lever that I can reset?
It looks like it's actually on the spine
Yes.
of the tome.
All right.
It's like a little lever that popped out.
All right. Can I pop it back in?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You reach over, press it back in, and
Uh-huh.
it slides uniformly back into the spine of the book.
All right.
It looks like an adornment.
Great. That's sneaky. Let's get you off the table carefully. Do you feel
Okay.
like you can actually move?
I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Take it carefully and see if you can get off this table.
All right.
Help.
Okay. You kind of stand up on the book and slide off, wiping the blood from your mouth after you take your step down that he helps you. And you are there now by yourself, the two of you, with a snoring dwarf in the corner.
Okay. We should probably see if we can put this. Let's see if we can maybe.
Move things together.
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any tables around? Chairs. Like
Um,
a stool or a chair.
A couple.
So we can prop one of those next to one of the piles and try and take some of it off very
Sure.
carefully and like take a few chunks down to give us some space for us to slip this book back in and then potentially.
And
Sounds good.
with her eye definitely on that little lever, just in case it
Okay.
goes to come out. And be like, oh,
As long as you don't touch it again, you might be okay.
okay.
You'd surmise that's how the alarm is going to work. But both of you can make me concentration checks.
It's fair.
What would you get?
19, 17, 18, 13.
So
Concentration.
you're pretty sure that you're able to
Let's
do
go.
the 4. You can make your way over, disappearing behind the panels, and you are now face to face with the door.
Well, the guards aren't out yet. I'm waiting for the distraction.
I walk back to Theo and go. Zaylen wants you to make noise to get the guards out here?
How many people are still in the archives where we are?
Not many. It's like almost 3 o'clock now, or it is somewhere in that bubble. You guys don't have much longer until the place is going to have another guard rotation. But it appears that there's just one guard down here in the archives. There's a couple of people. They're largely empty.
So, from what I saw before, there's the one guard in the archives and 2 guards in the break room.
From what you saw before, there are 2 guards in the break room, one in the archive near the stairs, kind of like opposite of where Ian was upstairs. While you're thinking about that, Grizz, what are you doing?
I'm gonna what's that smell I'm smelling on Lair? Do I recognize it?
Yes. It smells distinctly of Larry. He seems to drop it pretty regularly around
Oh.
wherever.
Is he alive?
He's snoring.
Okay.
I mean, as much as a bird snores.
Try to wake him up again. Nothing. Guess that's all I got.
Oh, Delary.
Give me a perception check.
15?
Okay.
No, sorry, 14.
Okay. Another smell begins to mix with that. This smells slightly acidic, and you turn around to realize that you are standing between Pig and his next meal.
Oh, great.
Your obvious modes of escape are pretty much just crawling over top Larry to get back further into his abode.
Well, I stuff some of the garbage, kind of like throw it in the opposite direction.
Yep,
Yeah,
you can.
try to lure him away.
Okay. But since you're tossing it and not just like dropping it nearby, give me a sleight of hand check.
16.
Okay. Toss it out, it pops against the wall. He kind of like does the as it scurries itself around and just buying you a couple of minutes maybe. And do you want to stay there where Larry is, or you want to move around that?
So I'm confused. So is the cube blocking the way of escape or something?
It was,
Okay.
but you've just gotten it about 10 feet away
I'm
from
gonna
you.
start walking and luring it away from this entire area.
Okay.
With a little Hansel and Gretel trail again.
Okay. You're gonna Hansel and Gretel like back towards the elevator?
Not towards the elevator. Wherever is away from the elevator and this area.
There's like only about 15 feet worth of hallway left going the rest of the opposite way.
Okay. Well, not too close to the elevator, but far enough away that.
Okay. You just start to move it down that way.
What's a concentration roll?
Concentration check
Yes.
is a d20 plus your con modifier.
Oh.
Uh, Harmathia. Or Zaylin, or whatever.
I look at Lostian and I say, do not follow me. Stay with Zaylin. See that Rose gets out of here safely, okay?
Zaylin's down at the other end of the hall.
Listen to me. Cover her. Make sure they get out safely. Do you understand what I am saying?
I understand, but I think you're wrong.
I turn around and I go to the hallway and I say, Daisy! Daisy! I know you're here with Matthias.
Where are
Daisy!
you?
In the hallway. I'm yelling. I'm
Where
causing
in the
a scene.
hallway?
Like right by the door of the archives.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I yell down the hallway.
You see the guards open up the door and poke their head out. You hear them open up their head or open up the door, and you can hear this leaning out and there's sort of like, who's he talking? What's the? Oh,
I'm like,
what is he yelling about? That's what you hear.
So as I'm just watching. As soon as if I see guards leaving that room, I sneak in underneath.
Sneaking underneath what?
I'm
Oh,
crawling.
you're moving back. They haven't left the room.
I'm waiting for them. If they do, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, they haven't.
I point and I say, have you seen her? My wife, she's here with that human scum, Matthias. I know it. They are in this place.
They kind of look at each other.
I storm back into the archives and continue screaming. I'm like, show yourselves. You're in here somewhere, Matthias.
As you turn around and you start walking back towards the archives, you see the guard from the staircase look at you, and he's walking towards you, and he looks past it and he's like, no, it's fine. And he comes up and he starts to engage you in conversation.
I don't answer. I go into the archive.
He is going to be rather insistent because you were making a lot of noise. All right. What's going on? This is a library.
Is it just me and Ian again?
It's not Ian. Ian's
is that
upstairs.
Some other guy?
This is another guy that you don't know.
Yeah, I just say, my wife is in here with another man. I know she is.
You know where you handle that?
Here!
No.
Yeah.
Not on municipal property.
What would you do, man? If
I
your
would have
woman
you
was in
leave
here.
now.
But at least help me look for her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
She's not upstairs. She's down here.
How do you know that?
Because I saw her come in here.
Do you see her here?
There's more than one room in this place, isn't there?
Yes, there is. And most of those she could not get into. I'm going to guess she's not here.
Could you check?
No.
What's the point? What are you
Leave.
even guarding?
I'm guarding loud voices. Leave.
This is nonsense. I can't believe this.
I will shut your mouth for you if you do not do it yourself.
Violence is the solution of these people? I don't understand how it works. And I do go towards the stairs.
He starts to pull out a gag. and follows you to the stairs.
I continue yelling in the stairwell.
Okay, as you continue yelling, he throws the gag at you from behind and he says, if you're gonna stay here, even just to walk out, you're gonna put that in your mouth or I will stop you from talking entirely.
I turn around and I sit down on the stairs. I stop yelling, but I just cross my arms and sit there. I don't make any more noise.
Put the gag in your mouth. Ian! I need some help removing a rather large gentleman who does not seem to understand the core principles of a library. And so that guard is gone.
So wait,
Oh, no,
somebody came from upstairs, but not those two guys at all.
Ian will be coming from upstairs.
But not the guards that were.
But not the ones that were on break having their lunch hour, no.
There was one in the archives with us, and then there was Ian upstairs.
But you got rid of him.
So, you do not hear the two guards, but you do hear the door shut.
I mean, I go back.
You sure that you want to just turn around? You have cover for about another 30 seconds.
All right, I'll wait. But
Okay. I just can't. What do you want to do?
Well,
Us?
we put the thing
Gonna
in.
try and-
We're being very.
Oh, what was your concentration? I lost concentration. What was your concentration checks?
I got a 12.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Okay. That is average 9.5. Yeah.
Round up.
I will say this. You start to knock over one of the books. You can see it falling. I will let one of you reach out to grab it. If you both try and grab it, you will no doubtedly fumble it. Okay, you reach out to grab it. Sleight of hand.
That's cool. 13.
Yeah,
Pretty high for
13.
you.
All right, you snatch it out of the air and now have another book to add to the pile. Do you guys like to make me another concentration check?
Is that one more? Is that the final book to put on the top?
That one was from the top.
Yeah, let's do the
But
thing.
have we finished our job?
No.
Oh, okay.
We gotta still roll.
Roll another concentration
Yeah,
check.
that's fine. Let's just do it.
I'm not great at those because it's literally straight dice roll.
Nobody is.
Okay.
Except for maybe Grizz.
Cool. This is gonna
I got
be
a 17. You got a 5.
But that is still greater than 10, which
Oh,
was
okay.
the combined DC that you
Yeah,
guys
no,
needed
we're
to
good.
add.
We're good.
So, while you're still slightly preoccupied trying to figure out if these books are the same, Rose has managed to shoulder enough of it up so that you can actually slide both books in. And you do, she slides it back down. You no longer are in possession of the book, and it appears to be in the right area, and low enough on the stacks that it could be plausibly denied that it was ever anywhere else.
Let's get out of here.
Tell Hamatio we're leaving now.
We did it. We're leaving.
Hermatio can't quite answer you right now.
Well, I just
Yeah,
say
in
it.
my brain, I can.
You have to speak it.
I just say it. It doesn't matter. I just
Yeah,
tell
you can say the thing, but he just
Oh,
can't.
have they? I was going to do something else before I allowed myself to be gagged. So.
Oh, okay. What are you gonna do? Because Ian is now snatching you up by the collar, pulling you out of the stairwell, going.
When he grabs me, I say, "Excuse me, sir. I don't know if you've ever been in love, okay? But sometimes it makes people do strange things."
He pulls out a gag.
Yeah.
You can make me a contested check where you're gonna do a straight roll off.
Oh.
No.
No.
It was 4.
We try not to
It was 4.
slam on the tables
Yeah,
in
also
general.
do not slam on
Slamming and
stuff.
stomping. Is it 4?
Please.
It was 4.
What is that?
That's an 18.
Okay. So, as he's bringing you up, you start to backtalk him. You get about half of that out, and then you get a gag. And they continue to escort you out roughly.
So I do or do not receive her message.
What's the message?
This is one on the
We
way
did
out.
it on the way out.
Okay, then you got the message.
When I hear that, I stop resisting. Just,
Okay, stop stomping.
sorry. Angry walkout. Yes.
Yes. We'll just say that you just thinking, even with the gag still in your mouth, you just walk out, get to the door, turn around and go, "Puh," and turn around and walk the rest of the way out.
Mhm.
Okay.
And leave the premise, like leave
Yes.
the area.
Yeah.
Go home.
Earlier on the rope use, when I first kind of knotted it so we could go down on the first shaft piece, you said that I could pony knot it.
I mean, it was like a joke about you being able to create like figurines in it,
Oh,
Like
okay.
it was, you're
like
really
really complex knots.
Fair enough. Will those knots actually help with climbing it back up? At
Yes.
all? Yes.
You will get advantage on climbing out.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we're leaving now.
We'd like to leave.
What are you doing?
I'm crawling underneath
You received no message.
the windows.
The illusions are still up.
Okay, then I will look through the window to see what the guards are doing.
The illusion works both ways. You can't see through it.
I'll wait for the illusion to disappear, and you know what? No, I start crawling back. I crawl back towards him.
Okay. So you start to crawl back out. Man, nobody's done it. Okay. So you two start to climb your way back up the rope.
We would like to.
Okay. It is going to be an advantage. I will let you know. Because of the precarious nature of these books, if you fail, you will knock them over. There will be no savings of anything except for maybe from falling damage.
May I try and hold the rope steady? As
You're already getting advantage. It doesn't
I'm
stack anything.
going to still try, but like hold the rope kind of taut or steady, so it's easier for Rose to go up.
That would get advantage, which I'm already giving
I'm
you.
still.
Let's
This is
roll.
roleplay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Dong, dong, dong.
Okay, what am I adding? What am I using?
It's athletics.
Thank you. That's a 13.
You're fine. You make your way up.
Oh yeah! 18.
You make your way up just the same, admiring your knot work on the way up. Wondering why you were worried in the first place.
So as we're going, like crawling, are we crawling or walking?
You just got up into the
Yeah.
shaft.
I know, but is it a crawling thing or a walking out? Like, is the shaft big enough to
No, it is not big enough for you to walk through.
Okay, so once we get back to the elevator,
So let's not
Let's not skip.
fast forward
Okay.
before we're there. You guys are up into the shaft.
okay, I
You've
hear you,
climbed up the rope.
100%.
Very carefully, I'd like to pull the rope back up.
Very good of you to do that.
Yes.
What would you like to do now?
After that, I'd like to tie the rope to the grate. Hold kind of feed it through, turn it, pull it up, and I get
Reattach it?
tension,
Got
reattach
it.
everything, kind of cover our tracks.
Yep.
And then we'd like to leave.
Now you can egress.
We leave and get to the elevator.
You make your way down the shaft. You drop back out. You can see Sig playing with Pig. Sorry, you can see.
But we don't make it that
Prince.
far. I
Thought you said you were going to the elevator.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at them. I run up to him and I just hold him and I just start crying.
So
Like-
in the shaft or what?
When we get to
the safe room.
when we get to the safe place, I don't care. I'm not looking.
So the
into
shaft
it.
is a safe place. This is why I'm not
In the
understanding where you
elevator.
want to go.
So-
he is where I was telling you beforehand.
Yes, but I'm not looking at him. I don't see anything. I'm not looking at him.
So are you running headlong into a wall? Because this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you're coming out of the shaft,
Yeah.
this is what you see.
Okay.
You and Lassian, you see Zaylin come crawling out from underneath. A little bit of a tension as the images start to fade. She comes walking or crawling out from the illusion, and you make your way.
I want to see that Hermatio's not in trouble.
You do not see Hermatio anywhere. But you did hear quite a bit of shouting, and you did hear some angry-toned guards escorting somebody out.
So I didn't know that that was him, even though I knew that he
You
was
had
going to.
illusions. You can make any assumption you want to,
But
you just asked me that you
Considering-
wanted to make sure that he's not in trouble.
considering I knew that he was the one making the noise to cause the distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and then something didn't happen to where the guards came out, I wanted to make sure that he
And I'm
was
telling
not.
you that you don't see him, so I don't know. You have to tell me what you want to do to make sure that's to do any of making of any of sure.
So I first looked through the archives to see if he's there.
Okay. Do you want to ask Lucian if anything happened, or do you just
Lucian.
want to take a walk?
Yes,
Did you-
flywheel.
Did you see anything happen?
That large man, he made a lot of noise, and then they took him out because he was making a lot of noise, and that wasn't really good. So he went upstairs with 2 guards and a bag. But there's no guard here now.
But he's up. Okay, and after that, I go upstairs to make
Okay.
sure he's okay.
So you walk upstairs. You again do not see him, but you do see 2 guards walking back, grumbling. One of them like holding the gag, a gag like this out in front of him, and then like walking by a waistband and tossing it in as they walk back. And you can just say, like, "What was with him? Doesn't he understand any?" Did you go up with her?
No, I'm staying down in the hallway and keeping an eye on the door, waiting for any problems that might happen because I don't know that they're out yet.
Okay. So you're standing down there. You're up there. You see the 2 guards coming out. They look like they're walking from the entrance of the library.
I ask, did you see a very big, loud man walking around?
No, we escorted him out.
Oh, can you tell me which door he went in? He was asking for a book that I
The outway.
make my way out.
Okay, so you head out and you see him leaning against the wall across the street, just kind of grinning.
What the heck happened? Okay, so I walk over there. Everything's okay?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, and then I just high five him with my Warforged hand.
Okay. So now, you two see Grizz at the far end of the hallway, the little service hallway. Pig is in between him and you, and he's taking little scraps of garbage and just tossing them. And you can see almost like in a reverse raindrop. Pig just go and munch a little bit, and he's looking at you like,
I'm just crying and going wherever you go.
Let's go this way. Come on.
you see her crying.
Let's get out of here.
But I'm just like not moving. I am moving wherever he's walking me to.
Okay. Great. Where are you going?
Attempting to navigate around Pig and get to the elevator.
Also, is there any sort of table or anything that's off the ground? Is Larry passed out on the ground?
Larry is way over back in his thing. That's like 20, 30 feet from where the elevator
Did it look
was.
like Pig was going to eat Larry?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm waiting for. Oh, okay.
It's been this long.
Yeah, sure.
They probably
Okay.
have some sort of bond.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Larry makes food.
Larry is the provider. So, you guys, you're able to kind of like toss a couple of little scraps of garbage closer to the wall, and you see, like as it starts to move over, giving you guys enough space to get into the elevator. You repeat the movement. It goes up. You guys make your way out of the library and look over to see Hamatio and Zaylen standing across the street, high-fiving.
My friend, would you go retrieve Lucian? I do not think he'll think to come out.
Yeah, I don't think he. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he wouldn't know to come out here.
He'll catch up. He's probably
No,
done
but he would
something.
not know. I do not think he would.
I mean,
Although it's funny if you just leave him. So, Malcian, what are you doing right now?
reading a cool book while I'm trying to keep an eye on that hallway to see if there's any problems because I haven't heard they're out yet.
Okay, are you doing anything else at all?
If I get bored after a little bit, I'm gonna walk down to the break room and kind of like pop open the door and go, "Is Teeny in her office?"
She is.
I was gonna ask her about the book club.
I don't think that's. Okay, hold on one second. He walks down there. You can see her kind of look up, and then she just like looks over to you,
Hi, Teeny.
and then she like hands him a flyer, which he then delivers to you.
Oh, thanks.
Have a good time.
Okay.
Okay, and he closes the door.
walk back, still kind of waiting till I get a message of what's going on.
Okay. So then, are you gonna go back down?
I'll go back down there and
Okay.
just like I don't say anything. If I see him, I just grab him.
Okay.
Don't touch me.
So you guys play the 5-year-old game up and down the stairs and out the door, making your way back to where?
Our place.
To your place? Okay, so you make your way back to your place, and
You're looking
So-
awful pale.
Are you okay?
She's been pretty badly hurt.
What
I
happened
grab him. I go into my room, which is like the room behind the curtain, and I just start cursing at you in Elvish.
so you like snag him by the collar and drag him. Oh, we're gonna say by the ear.
Yeah.
You grab him by the ear, bend him over, pull him behind the chair, close the curtain, and then just obscenities.
You would probably hear I'm like, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to go to crazy things. I just want to sing. I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I go down there. I hate this place, and I have to wear the dirty clothes and go in the dirty places.
You weren't supposed to go into the room. That was not the plan.
I was supposed to go in the room, and they told me to go in the room.
But at least the mission was a success. Are you harmed? Perhaps
I-
Losian can help you.
I
I'm
died.
walking over the curtain.
You're right.
And in Elvish,
Right.
you hear me go, "Excuse me, are you hurt? Do you need some help?"
Yes, she is.
And I
hurt.
run into your arms, and I just start crying as you do that.
You just see this like ghost of a curtain come floating towards you, and then she emerges from it, and you just do the little thing as you tumble to the floor together, and you hear 5 bells ringing, and the darkness outside even getting even darker.
I walk over to Grizz and I'm just picking off little bits of garbage that he left, and like you got a little.
I just continue in Elvish and just go, "You need to stay still and let me examine you to make sure you're okay. And then we need to get to work. But you need to stop right now. For your own sake."
Okay.
And I turn to the others and I go, "I'll be busy for a second."
I say to you in Gnomish, is the deed done?
Yes. She fell when we were sneaking into the room. It was a little touch and go for a moment, but we had it handled.
That was not the plan.
It was close to the plan.
I want to let you guys know that Gnomish just sounds like a string of run-on sentences.
Like I talked to Dwala, basically.
Kind of, but without the inflection.
Alright.
But just for don't do it now.
Sure.
But later, it'd be
Sure.
funnier.
I say we will revisit this later, but I think perhaps it is you that should talk to Garland.
Sure.
But Losian was aggrieved a silver and 5 copper for the vital information. He must have his money restored before we divide the rest.
Kind of all have. The money was taken from. Did we divide that 2 silver each? I don't think we
have
did.
not, no.
Then it comes out of that. Don't worry about it.
Either way, as long as he is restored.
All right. So after treatment, after tea, the night shift starts to near. You guys all take a real quick trip to the Old Dominion to settle the score. As you walk in, you see you pass Latch, who gives you a little wave. He's carrying a little toolbox, and he's like, "Oh, hi.
Hi, Latch.
It is good to see you. How are you doing? You look slightly flustered.
I got in a fight with Hermatio. But it's fine. It happened.
So what else is new?
I have to go to work.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I am your employer.
Yeah. I have a song to write. It's a very sad one.
I see. I won't keep you then. Please have
look-
a wonderful evening.
You look nice and shiny today. Thank you for being considerate.
He looks down at his vest. Thank you. I appreciate it. The rest of you, please, have a pleasant evening if you are staying. If not, then do not. I will be in shortly. I must fix a fire escape. The carpenter, your carpenter, told me that it was not up to city standards.
Or know nothing about city standards.
No, I do. I will go to fix it. Have a pleasant time.
Or standards at all.
I didn't hear
It was,
whatever
it was
that
a dig at Grizz, not at.
Oh, okay.
Blanche.
So he turns and he walks over. He leaves, going out around the corner, and Thiessen isn't here yet. There's not a whole lot going on. There's no bouncer. You can see as you walk in, Cad. He's actually pretty frail for a half orc. He has kind of yellowish skin. Anybody would normally think he has like jaundice, except for those of you that know him and you see the tusks that he does have. Although he's a very very good looking and charming, if not super skinny, half orc. As you make your way in, you see him scurrying back and forth. You see Garlon reading a newspaper at the bar. Not at the bar, at his little table that he has, a little booth in the corner. And you make your way over.
Hi, Garlon.
Hi.
It's done.
Oh, good. So, what was it that we said? We said 7 silver, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if Mel says anything to me elsewise, I'm gonna take it out of each of you. Even if the deal's only with one of you, I think the association speaks for itself.
I believe our association does in fact speak for itself.
So here's 5.5 silver, less your debt.
Fair enough.
So have a nice, pleasant evening, and you did a good job. I'll keep you in mind for other things.
I think we actually worked pretty well together this time. We might be interested in doing something a little more involved if you find things.
I'll keep that in mind. And then as you guys are finishing this conversation, you hear this gnashing and tearing of metal. And a crash of mythic proportions outside.
I rush
Now,
outside.
I think I already know what happened.
We all rush outside?
Are you all rushing outside?
Definitely.
I grab Zaylan.
I see that was the kind of distraction that I was going to ask you to do.
As everyone else is running, I turn to Garland and go, "Oh, have you heard from Felwyn? I'll talk to you later."
And he's like, he hears the crash and he's bolting outside too. And then you guys also, out of the corner of your eye, notice Cad heard it and is rushing outside too. And as you come, like, basically to the doorstep, you see that latch lay motionless underneath the heavy sign. Its alchemical fluorescent tubing splayed, shattered across the pavement like Severus's belt. Cad kind of steps up in front of everybody else and goes, Rose, go get the first aid kit. It's in his office. Go get it.
I run.
So you rush back upstairs towards Latch's office. Garlon, you should probably scram. I'm gonna go get the I'm gonna go get the city guard. I'll be right back.
The Glossian, Felix,
Grizz.
can you help him?
We need to move this sign. We need to get this sign off him right now.
All right.
Was it the sign or was it the fire escape that's on it?
What did I say?
He said a massive metal and twisted pieces.
What did I say during the description?
It is a sign.
It's a sign.
So I'm like, are you able to help him? He's a construct. I don't know. It's one of you.
We need to get this off him right now.
Start seeing what help, if any, I could do to him.
So as you guys move closer,
I'm
and Cad goes rushing off, you see, as you start to grip the sign, being kind of careful of the glass, you see that it is clearly caved his entire skull. And the metal plating is turned in, impacting and denting whatever is below it.
Is there anyone up where it came from?
There is nobody up where the sign used to hang, but Zaylin notices a small girl deeper in the alley. Blonde hair. This looks like the little urchin Tawny. Her garments are the standard dirty smudged nastiness, but her face is utter shock. She appears to be catatonic. Grizz smells something odd. As you get closer, you can see that the sign looks like it was tampered with. That it actually had grease applied to it, and it looks like less than 24 hours ago, by your best guess. Harmatio, you locate a coin that seems to have rolled or slid just enough out of Latch's vest pocket that it just kind of dangles there.
I pick up the coin.
You walk over to the body and pick up the coin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About the time that you are bent over the sign, you can hear footsteps running up from behind you, heavy boots, and there is a group of city watchmen coming up following Cad. Teeson is huffing and puffing heavily as they pull all of you back from the sign and start to set up a perimeter around it. Then, a couple of moments later, well, we'll get back to that real fast. Up in the office, as you make your way up, you start to search around for the first aid kit. Give me a perception check.
9.
Okay. So you're able to, or so as you walk up there, you're looking around everywhere, and you search the whole front part of the office. You turn and you look towards the desk. Maybe the first aid kit's near the desk. You scan around, and you see a couple of like little boxes over in that direction. Do you go to?
Oh yeah, I'm frantic. I'm just like opening all the things I can and just.
Okay, give me another perception check.
Oh, worse.
Worse.
Yeah. But I'm tearing drawers open.
Okay. Oh.
I'm opening drawers. I'm opening all the boxes. Like anything that might possibly look like it can hold things.
Okay. So you tear through any of the boxes. You don't find the first aid kit, and then as you're pulling, you rip open one of the drawers, and it is there. There is a first aid kit in it. You reach down to grab it, and as you do, you come eye level with the desk. You also see across the room where the door is slightly open that the first aid kit is on the wall right by the door. But you grab the secondary first aid kit. You look up, you are eye level with the desk. On the desk is a package and a letter.
Well, I wasn't curious until now, and it's just a letter. It's just sitting there, and he's not going to read it.
And the package is torn open.
Well, maybe I should take a look in case,
And you see a couple of little vials that seem to be just barely packed in.
Oh, maybe I got
And those sit there on the desk.
I look around a little
You're
bit.
the only one that seems to be in the club at all right now.
I just, now I mean, if this is standing out, I take it
Where are you gonna put it?
in my bra. Yeah, I show you. Oh, no, I show you. Yeah, no, I show you. If you give it to me, I show you. Got this one, and then I just take it here, and I fold it like that, and I put it in my
Prepare
bra.
for magic.
Fold it?
It's
Put
like
it in my bra, that's a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see you
And-
fold the package.
it's like prestidigitation.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I just, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Oh my goodness.
Just gonna
no,
pocket
that's a
them?
thing.
Is-
It's called a boot pocket.
Yeah, don't you remember the pockets?
No, I almost called it out earlier in the episode.
You don't know when girls go to the clubs?
No, you're right.
You've never been to the club with the girls and they have to hold the things? There's so many of them.
and yes.
Why are there so many of them?
Okay, so as you stuff yourself,
Boom.
we move back out to the
I
sidewalk.
think they want this made.
There's actually I need that
I
for a
actually want
second
to
because
prove.
it's supposed to have something written on it that I didn't do, but I'll do it later.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Magic. Wow.
So actually, I guess this should be
The
okay.
boot pocket.
I wouldn't call that sleight of hand, but
Nobody's there.
Slide of boob.
It's quite true.
See? You can't even tell.
That is kind of incredible.
So as you turn the thing over, you do notice something on it later. However, down in the streets where all the people that are hanging out, you notice Lausian.
yeah.
You notice a large man in chainmail with a very large belly and an air of superiority come walking through, gently moving people out of the crowd away from him and walking directly back towards Latch. He just stands over front, looks up, and you guys watch as he bends down to the sign, the place where you saw the grease. He picks it up and he rubs it on his fingers. And then he too notices Tawny at the end of the alley, still catatonic. He walks over to her very cautiously, hands out. He bends down beside her, angled just enough for you to actually be able to read her lips. And you can pick up little bits of this as well, but not the complete conversation that he gets. As you hear him go, "Are you okay? Little girl? Little girl? Are you okay?" And then you see him stop talking. And he sniffs. And he reaches up to her shoulder and and now you can pinpoint the smell as grease blended in with some oil and some other stuff that was absent from where the sign was. And he kind of, is that grease? He looks up at her, makes eye contact, but she is vacant. And then as he goes, "Well, come here," and he starts to move her, you notice a wrench fall from her hands, which were clasped behind her back. And he just kind of looks down at it. And then he scoops her up and starts to walk her back, pushing by each of you as he walks to the Sharn watches Sky Coach waiting. And he sets her down in it, tells one of the guards to watch her, turns around, makes some notes, steps in the cab, and it takes off. And we'll examine the things that you found next week.
Good. Safe for now.
I just want to say as you walk by and cataloging those smells too.
Sure.
Yeah. Just making a point.
Yeah, no, you got the smell of grease.
Well, his smell too.
Okay.
Yeah. Just covering my bases, man.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're ever going to be able to sniff him out. Just
Doesn't
wanted to
mean
make
I
sure
won't.
that you... Yes, but I just want to lay the groundwork so you know.
Feel like
It's fine, but I don't want that to come in. Will you let me smell him?
Yes, if he was standing next to him, you could smell him again.
We all know what happened last time he tried to sniff a gnome. So, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed it. Now you can see how things are developing. Dun, dun, dun. And we now have a little bit of a mystery on our hands, I think.
That's incredible. They don't even clink. Like I'm like you can't hear, like, it's
My guess is there's a lot of padding. I don't know.
on the bottles.
Right? So, thank you guys for coming to hang out with us. Thank you so much for the subs and the bits. We appreciate all of that stuff because it helps us continue running and to continue bringing you good content, of which we are trying very, very, very hard to bring you even more very soon. So, with that, don't forget about your Twitch Prime stuff if you have those just floating about. I know some of those are coming up today. And thank you, Black Magic. Thank you, WizKids. Thank you, Idle Champions. Thank you, Dungeons and Dragons. And thank you, my friends, for coming to play. Oh, my God, it was so much fun. Oh, my God.
Oh my God, we finished
You
it.
finished
Oh.
the job and you lived. So,
Oh my God.
Hey, all right.
Yay.
Nailed it.
I'm glad I rolled that 20 instead of a 1.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
that
don't-
could have
That
very
could've
easily
died.
gone the other way.
I don't know what.
Then
I
no
would've
poop
done.
bucket.
Yeah, wasn't sure you're making it out of that room.
I know.
All right.
At least not without me carrying you out.
Thank you for the dice. Huh?
Yeah, thank you for the
Yeah.
dice.
Oh my God.
How about that?
Yeah, Devnol, thank you for the dice.
And we will see you guys soon. We haven't quite got that Patreon after chat set up yet, because...
I still can't figure out. I can't figure out Discord, but we're working on it.
Nah. All right, we'll see you guys a little bit later. Go ahead and stay tuned to the tweets and all the things of all the people here so that you can know when the next thing is, because I think we might be doing a little what?
Saturday, you and I are going to be at Jasper's Game Day.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
There will be a couple times where we have moments to do some live streaming so we can tell everyone how much we're raising.
That's right. We'll do some live streaming for Patreon and stuff when we're there, and occasionally we'll do it for just random live stream stuff. All right,
Follow us
we
on all
will.
the things.
Huh?
Follow us on all the things.
All the
Don't
things.
forget to
Keep
subscribe.
updated.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful week. We will see you here next week. Tuesday for Maze Place, Tuesdays for Sirens of the Realms, and Wednesdays for more Neon Noir in Dungeons and Dragons Eberron.